Just a friendly reminder that the opinions expressed on this show are not worth a Canadian penny, so disregard anything you hear that might get anyone in trouble. And despite some of the great ideas you may hear, don't try them at home. Go to a friend's house instead.
It's time to get a gun. That's what I've been thinking. Well, I could afford one. And if I did just a little less drinking, time to put something between me and the sun. When the talking is over, it's time to get a gun.
Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio, episode 296 for March 21st, 2019. I am the Frelatte.
It's 2019.
No, it's not actually.
I'm with Adriel. I think it is.
It's 2019.
2019.
Nope, just 2019.
2019.
2019.
Ooh, that's how we do it in grade 2. 2019.
That's about right.
Off to a
I
great
don't know
start.
who's next.
Amazing.
I'm
This
the
is-
classy one.
Thank you, Kelly.
You're welcome.
That's you, Matthew.
Oh, hi.
That's
Me.
a cute.
Wow, it's you know what we should
I
do?
don't have the show notes open yet, so
We should
I don't
come
know
up
what
with
order
show
I'm in.
notes
No.
so that the listener, so that
Wing it.
the host can follow along and not stuff and things.
Let's just wing it.
Aw.
I'm Adriel.
Okay, well then, that was another typical. Whatever.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Wait, this isn't the end. Usually our endings are awkward, not the beginnings.
Yeah.
Usually both.
Everything in between. So we have awkward beginnings, middles, and ends. It's kind of like high school. Awkward the whole way through.
Yep.
All right, so let's get into what we did this week in guns, which is brought to us by the Calgary Shooting Center, Canada's premier firearms retailer. And coming up on March 30th is Glock Days. Glock Days. Glock
Sweet,
Days.
really?
Yeah. One of the
Okay.
first shooting events Matthew and I ever went to was Glock Days at the Springfield range. You remember that, Matthew?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I remember that. I think I still have video of it somewhere.
You probably have a video of me having a meltdown and throwing my backpack because my wife was all like, no, you can't buy a new Glock.
I remember that.
Yeah, and then like 2
That was
days
fun.
later, it turns out that I had taken out a small loan, and it was through the teachers union, and the loan was paid back, but they kept taking the deduction off my paycheck and just rolling it into a savings account I didn't know about, and boom, just like that, I had $3,000. Guess who got a new Glock? This guy. Wow,
It all worked out so nicely.
it did. It
Is
did.
that what
So,
Glock days are for?
buying Glocks?
Buying Glocks, yeah.
That's exactly what it's
Yeah,
for.
what else would you use it
Show
for?
up. Buy a Glock.
Yeah. And Calgary Shooting Center does it upright. They get in a whole bunch of different models of Glock. So if you were looking to try the latest Glock models, like the 48, the 19X, the 43, all those ones, plus they do have Prohib Glocks at the Calgary Shooting Center that you can rent and shoot with a range officer. So if you want to try the little itty bitty baby Glocks, they're there too. So March 30th and 31st from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day, go shoot a Glock. No experience necessary. This is also tied into a charity event, and you can enter for a chance to win your own Glock. There's also a sale going on the 30th and 31st, and price is too low to advertise, but up to 70% off on select merchandise.
That's a thing, eh? Like there's some gun manufacturers that won't let you advertise lower than a certain price. There'll be like map pricing, or there'll be advertising pricing where you can't. It's a thing.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. That's all I wanted to say.
Just waiting for Matthew to stop at the clicking.
Oh, sorry. Is
Oh, is that what it is? It's even worse. Yeah.
that better?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So
Carry on.
map pricing, Adriel, is not kind of subject to this. Map pricing, my understanding of it from working at the shop is whatever Denise sells a Vortex for, Calgary has to sell a Vortex for. And Glock is one of those items that falls under map pricing. And some retailers have lost their dealership rights to selling certain products for breaking the map pricing policy.
Yep.
So that can be nasty. But anyway, up to 70% off. So have your Glock inspected when you support the charity. Glock representatives and armors will be on hand, so that's cool. So you can get your Glock looked over. Well,
I have a Glock armor. I have a Dremel and
Yep.
a hammer.
Polishing
And
compound.
glitter.
You could use a polishing compound. You could use like one of those nail files. That's got like 7 different grades of filing stuff on there. Pretty much like a pro armor, actually.
Yeah, like a regular armor would just have an emery board, but you've got like the multi-level grits all on one. Yeah, you're like Glock Armorer Pro staff.
Yeah.
Except for that shirt, though. Jesus.
Yeah, check that out. Look
There
at
it
that.
is.
Look at
Yeah.
look at that specialty Glock tool right there.
Can you go back into your cupboard again so I can continue to make fun of your shirt behind your back instead of to your face?
You could do both.
Like, did you get that out of my grandfather's closet? I need to know.
I had to go to a school thing. I had to look fancy.
It looks very nice.
Did you go back in time to go to the school thing to 1948? What
It's
the?
probably when the school was built. So yeah.
All right, let's get moving on. McClatchy, you don't have anything in there. Does that mean nothing, or you got something, or what?
Like what I did in guns.
Yeah, they haven't been away that long, Matthew.
Oh. I'm gonna do some dry firing tonight while the show's going on.
Excellent. What's that in your hand?
Glock.
Try to do
Speaking
it.
of Glocks,
Try to do it when Trevor's talking.
Yeah.
He likes
Trevor,
the
it's your
sound in
turn.
the background.
The only thing better than interrupting me is making background clicky sounds and then interrupting. As long as you know, we just lost 3 listeners every time you do that. Great. Now we're negative. Good one.
No, I haven't done anything gun really. Well, is that true? I think I got the rifle out to shoot at a crow, but it flew away before I got the gun out in time.
You had a gun with you in the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. I mean, that's good.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And the groundhogs are back. So because it's spring, they're starting to come back out. So there will be more groundhog carnage coming up. So stay tuned. There will be groundhog carnage.
That's crazy. I won't see a groundhog until June.
Oh no, they're rustling around already.
Wow, you must have like most of your snow gone already, or what?
No, not really. I don't know why they're out.
Really?
But whatever.
Jeff Reese sent me a message the other day. The Gophers are out in the Calgary area as well.
Man.
Yeah.
It's warm in Calgary, or it was
melting.
Well, it was 7 here today, so
yeah.
Well, and tomorrow.
The Easter weekend is not until April, right? And when I went, okay, so no, that's still a ways away. I was going to say, well, the first time I shot gophers in Calgary was Easter weekend. There was still snow on the ground. Anyway, I digress.
And they were out.
They were out.
Why? Gopher shooting's fun. We should talk about this more.
You know what? It should be a whole main topic at some point.
That'd be fun.
Maybe after we go shoot some.
Yes, which Matthew won't be with us this time.
Yeah, rub it in.
You can shoot some groundhogs.
I'll shoot some ground. So, what's the ratio groundhog to gopher?
Oh,
You
one
gotta go by
groundhog
weight,
is worth
right?
50 gophers.
At least 50, I would think.
At least.
Because they're huge.
They are huge, and there's also a lot less of them. So
I wouldn't give you 50. I'd give you 25.
No,
25?
You come out here and try and pop some groundhogs, and you'll see. Like, you can go all day, and if you get 3, that's a great day.
See, it's not just the weight difference. You also have to add in the
Scarcity.
I didn't know we were
scarcity
doing
in the
scarcity. Yeah.
Oh, it all
you have to
factors
put in the
It's a
scarcity
formula.
metric.
Yeah, the metrics of
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I'd say 50 to 1.
Yep.
So Trev, you go out west and you shoot as many groundhog or gophers as you can. I'm going to shoot as many groundhogs as I can, and we'll see what the score ends up being at the end of the day.
This is like, so I'm going sailing with Captain Andy this summer, and him and his lovely bride are explaining how the racing rules work, and it's like the boat that finishes first may not necessarily win because there's all kinds of like handicaps and stuff, like depending on your boat, they add time or take time away. I'm like, this is why I want to sink the competition. Already I don't like this system. What do you mean?
It's not about just who gets there first.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Airplane racing's the same way. It's more about this is your time that you've left. This is the time that you've arrived. This is the distance you went, and then they do like a speed thing between 2 fixed points, and they take that and they make it so everybody's speed is the same. So whenever you're racing, you're actually racing technical skill as opposed to just who has the most horsepower
and who gets the most kills.
Right. Thank you, Adriel.
Right.
But in
It should
this
be the
case,
same on the boats. On the
Right.
boats, like cannon kills,
Yes.
ramming, boarding the other boats,
when you're,
and
you
throwing them
should be
all
able to like,
overboard.
you should
Molotov
be able to board
cocktails.
them.
See,
Molotov cocktails would be fine. Yeah.
I want to go sailing with you guys. See, but Matthew,
Hard
it's
to do
not,
in Alberta.
It's not exactly like that. It's kind of like, well, your boat has these sails, or your boat has this kind of hull, or your boat has this long.
Right.
So it's kind of like that because they
See,
put all this.
It sounds to me like somebody got a boat that wasn't quite up to
Right.
snuff, and they started whining.
Right.
Like,
and
well, it's
made up.
not fair that he spent
Yes.
1.2 million and I only spent 1.1 million. I should be able to get a 10% penalty.
Pretty much.
Something.
Yeah, you're onto it. Cool.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, Trev. I think races, if you're going to do a race, whoever crosses the line first wins.
Right. And if your boat doesn't cross the line, well,
You don't
suck.
win.
You suck.
you didn't win.
There's
Yeah.
that. There's that, right? You
There's
don't
that.
win.
Sails
Yeah.
burned down because of Molotov cocktails. That's
And
very-
therefore-
that's
These things
bad
happen on the
sailing.
high seas. How
There's
far
no
before
law.
international waters?
We got 200. 200. Never mind the Bredor Lakes. We're moving the racing out in international waters. And I'm bringing my M14.
No rules.
Incendiary ammo. Got to get some of
Ooh.
that.
And why
That'll-
not?
That'll poke some holes in your spinnaker. All right.
Spinnaker.
That's
All
the
right.
big sail in the front.
Oh,
All right.
well,
What for-
learned nothing new today.
What
Carry on.
for racing, as Captain Andy would say.
Right.
So, all right. No more carbon fiber masts and sails. Let's get on to what we did this week in guns. Again, take
All right.
take 3.5. So I went to another one of those steel challenge matches near
Is
Fredericton.
that the one you went to in Fredericton with Larry?
Yeah. Yeah. I shouldn't have had the bigger breakfast.
Oh, wait, it was McAdam, wasn't it?
Close enough. Thomaston Corner, if you want to get specificer.
Specificer?
Thomaston.
Atlantic and Pacific time?
Exactly. Yeah, so same stages as last time, same idea. You
I
do the
wasn't
5.
there last time. What were the stages?
Well, they're like modified version of the actual steel challenge stages. Like
So
what
it's
we
not
run.
an actual steel challenge.
No. It's 100% outlaw.
Oh.
They're using some. When we bought our new steel, we pointed Larry in the direction and said, "Take all you can carry." And lucky for us, he's got a really small truck, so he only got like 4 pieces. But yeah, so he's got our old steel. You remember the steel we used to shoot on?
Yeah.
So we sent that on down the road, and that's what he's using. So like there was a Smoke and Hope set up, and there was maybe a roundabout, but anyway, 4 stages, modified version of the actual stuff. The distance.
So it's the same rules where you get 5
Yeah,
rounds.
yeah.
They chalk out your slowest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And
So-
how many? Like, was it all? Everybody was shooting center fire pistol, or were they doing rimfire rifle as well?
We had some rimfire rifle. We had pistol. We had we would have had Larry didn't get too crazy about it. Like he didn't do like single stack and production and
Right. You were either
yeah.
shooting a pistol or a rimfire kind of thing.
pretty much or a PCC. So
Did you bring your PCC?
I
CC?
did. This is
CC?
twice now I've gone down with my PCC. But unfortunately for me, this time Jody Waring showed up. So he's such a sandbagger. Not a sandbagger, but he's just like he's not braggadocio whatsoever. Like he's very low key and
Say that again.
Braggadocio.
Braggadocio.
So he's very
Very good.
so he's very soft spoken, and so I'm like, Jody, what's going on? How you been today? You check out this PCC thing yet? He's like, yeah, a little bit. So I'm like, oh, okay. So
That sounds. He smoked you, didn't he?
right, killed me.
Brought in his gamer gun. He's got 3 dots on the thing, a laser.
Nope, he's got less on this
Extended
gun than I
mags.
do. But I think my laser kind of screwed me. But I'll come to that in a second. So
Did you really
it was
put a
just
laser
this-
on your PCC?
Mhm.
yeah, man.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, look, it's right here. I took it off tonight because I don't have time
Because
to.
it's dumb, right?
No, it's not dumb. It's not dumb at all. What are you talking about?
All right, I am
Points
bored,
at stuff.
Locutus or something.
Awesome. So anyway, so I'm like, Jody, you check out this PCC stuff yet? He's like, yeah, a little bit. So I'm under the impression that he's just like watched some videos or something, right? And he showed up late, shot pistol first, and after we left, he shot his PCC. And
Wait! You could go through it twice.
yeah,
Oh,
because
nice.
there's only 4 of the stages, not 8 of the stages,
Right.
and it's not uncommon to shoot steel with 2 different divisions.
How many
Okay.
people do you have out there?
We had a handful, maybe a dozen or so.
Oh, so you had lots of time.
Yeah, lots of time.
Yeah.
Well, and actually, Larry's like, you and other Trevor was with me. We went to Filthy's the night before, and then we met up with some other gunnies, and Paul and Joe and Ken, and we had breakfast in the morning first, where Matthew was supposed to meet us for breakfast, but
I'm very upset that I didn't get a chance to get there, but I'm
As
satisfied
well
with
you
my decision because
should
I
be.
didn't get divorced, so it's gooder this way.
It is gooder to not get divorced. Yes.
You'd know.
Yes, exactly. You chose marriage over shooting. Tisk.
I know, right?
I'm glad you could learn from my
This
mistakes.
time.
That's important.
Somebody's got to.
Yeah, because I'm not. I've
Nope.
never learned from anything I've ever done. Anyway, after breakfast, we headed on out there, and Larry was
What'd
like,
you have for
"Okay,
breakfast?"
seriously, I know what you're doing, and it's starting to get old."
No, it's not.
Adriel, can we see that ring you're wearing? Because that really goes great with that shirt. Like, what did that come out of a gumball machine? Let's see that. Hold that up to the camera.
This
Come on.
thing's huge.
Yeah, it is huge. It goes with that shirt. What are you doing? You got some new style going on tonight, and it's
Keep blinging.
freaking me out. Yeah. So, yes, you could shoot it twice. Jody was like, "Yeah, I kind of checked it out." Then just before I left, he showed me his, and he's just got an FX9, and he's got a big old heavy Strike Eagle red dot on it off an AR. Looks a little big on the FX9, but I mean, perfectly good
Strike
optic.
Eagle
It
red
works
dot?
fine. Yeah. It's a Vortex one. It's a couple of years old now, maybe 4 or 5 years old.
Strike Eagle's the 1-6 or the scope, right?
Yeah, but they also make a
pick
Venom
up
scope,
Spark.
and they stick their name on a bunch of different stuff. So
Hmm.
yeah, look it up. It kind of looks like an older aim point. Even has like the same kind of
Spitfire? Spitfire?
yeah. That's the
Strikefire?
one.
Yeah.
Spitfire.
There you go.
Spitfire, Strike Fire. No, Spitfire. Yes. So
Spit
anyway.
Eagle. Mhm.
Yeah. So the first time I was there, I was like knocking on 2.5 second runs. I had a lot of runs under 3 seconds, and I had one run that was like
That's with
2.6.
shooting too, right? The 2
Huh?
or 3 seconds. That's with shooting. That's all the shooting in the 2 seconds.
Yes, Adriel. Yes. So when I started off this time, I started the opposite from last time. I started on the left stages instead of the right stages, and I was slow. I was like pretty much always over 3 seconds in the beginning, and then when I got on the stage on the right, I really started to wake up, and I got some really nice times. I finally got under 2.5 seconds, and I got all the way down to like a 2.38. I was like 5 plates, 2.38. Like that's awesome.
That's fast.
Yeah, go look at Jody's times. Jody was routinely under 2.5 seconds.
Wow.
Now, it goes by time, of course, because
Yeah.
it's steel. And I'll look it up later while somebody else is talking. Because he, even though it goes by time, there's still a percentage in practice
Right.
score for Steel Challenge. So I was like 96 point something of him. But anyway,
Right.
yeah. Did you
I
check
forgot
out
what the FX9 looked like, so I looked it up on Google Images. The third image in is Adriel holding one.
Yes.
He knows about all the internet matrix.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
So
knows how to get up there.
he does. Yep.
I
So-
put in FX9 PCC, and there's Adriel smiling at me in a blue shirt holding one.
That's crazy. So this laser, Matthew, I was going to use for the indoor match on Saturday in
Okay.
In Dartmouth, but I'm taking Jordan to the range. This is all arranged. I called, or I went on their website, and I booked a lane for Jordan and I. Captain Andy, I hope, is going to be joining us. So I've got the Savage Model 99 packed. I got the Kui Model 84 packed. I actually have some old ammunition that's probably as old as the gun to bring along
It'll
with
be
me.
click, boom.
Maybe. Hey, it could happen, right? This isn't
Yeah.
the test that I wanted to do. I'd love to get him on an outdoor range with multiple targets at multiple distances, more targets than he has ammo for, so
Yeah.
he doesn't know which one to shoot first, and put him on the clock and go,
Go.
and start screaming at him, especially when it comes time to reload. And so he could see how
How
just-
this would have gone down and how it would not have gone well for them.
exactly. Yeah.
You
So-
should get an
you guys are wondering
airsoft
who this-
gun, and then at the timer, start shooting at him with the airsoft gun.
That's a different.
Put some
That's a different
pressure on.
test.
No.
Yeah. So
Those
anyway,
of you who are wondering who the them is, listen to last week's episode. It was
Yeah.
pretty good.
yeah, and part 5 of his series came out with me on it, and it was pretty good. I misspoke a couple of times and didn't use terminology correctly as much as I should have. And sure enough, somebody nailed me on Twitter. You don't put bullets in a shotgun, you put holes in a shotgun or shells.
Oh
or
my
whatever.
goodness, the semantics
They
drives
should
me
have got a
nuts.
real expert on that show. I don't know what they were thinking.
Or at least an expert, and not. Anyway, I never claimed to be an expert. He called me an expert. So
More of an expert than he is.
well, that's it. He's like, if you would have went too crazy with the jargon, you weren't talking to gun people, so don't worry about the jargon.
Yeah.
So the laser, I believe that the laser actually slowed me down because the transitions between plates and the muscle memory from the time before, the gun was swinging differently. That's my excuse. A lot of people are going, you are so full of it right now, but whatever, man.
I hate shooting with lasers. I've tried it. It doesn't work.
Oh, I didn't use
sight.
the laser. There's no way you could see the
Oh,
laser.
just the fact that it was on the gun.
Yeah.
Ah.
Indoors laser would be fine, but outside, no.
So you're saying the weight on it? The weight caused you to swing slower?
Correct.
Oh.
Hanging off the muzzle there, I don't think the transitions, like I was maybe overcorrecting, stopping, and overswinging, having to come back. I don't know. But I did warm up when I got to the other side, but it was too late by that point. So anyway, what the heck? It was a lot of fun. It was a little cold, colder than last time, but there was less snow. So this is all outdoors, and a lot of fun. So yeah, and Trevor did good. He finished 5th in production. Oh yeah, I was supposed to send him the results. He wanted to know who ended up ahead of him. But anyway, Trevor, look it up on Practice Score. What else? Oh, and then I loaded some more 45.
The 45 on the dies that Dave sent you?
Yes, that's all rocking and rolling on my Dillon 650 and working really good.
Why did you want the 45 dies back again? What are you loading 45 for?
It just occurred to me that, well, I've got one, right? I've got a classic gun. I have two.
Yeah.
These two classic guns, Matthew. They're my 210 fovios. They're identical. Only one's in 9, one's in 45, and they're all set up for classic division. I never use them. So I was going to shoot a
why
match
would
or
you? They're
two.
1911s. Who cares?
Because they're awesome. I was going to shoot a match or two in standard this winter, or not in standard, sorry, in classic major. But then I got my PCC.
Yeah.
So I figured that if Dave had that stuff, I could get it back for him at least what I paid, what I sold it to him for, and I think he even treated me better than that. So
that's Dave for you.
Yeah, exactly. Right. If you can find a nicer guy than Dave, you can't though. So
you can't. Dave's the nicest guy in the world.
He really is. So that's I just didn't have my 650 set up for 45, and another reason, Matthew, is I want to process 308 brass on my 650, and the caliber conversion kit for 45 and 308 are almost identical with the exception of 3 pieces. So I got the caliber. Yeah, I got the 45 caliber conversion kit back from Dave, and then I ordered those 3 pieces. What I paid Dave and what I paid for these 3 pieces is still nothing compared to had I bought the 45 dies and the 45 caliber conversion kit new.
But you're still not shooting 45. You're just making it.
Right. That is in fact true.
This sounds like how my wife describes getting a sale on something that we didn't really need.
Yeah,
but it was on sale.
But it was on sale. I saved money.
No, I've loaded 1,000. I've loaded 1,045, and I'm looking at my powder measure, and there's still a bunch of powder in there. So given the powder charge that I'm using, 4 grains of powder, 7,000 grains in a pound. You work that out, it comes out to 1,795 rounds per pound. So I'm going to break out another 1,000 and load until I run out of powder, because I bought another 1,000 primers too. So, I mean, what am I going to do? Put the powder back in the jug?
So this is a tried and true load, though.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
No, not really.
To be honest, no, not at all, actually. But I'm making 1,000 more of it because the powder's already in the measure.
Well, we know we know that I'm not good at taking powder out of the press and putting it back in the proper container in the back of the press. So new policy, powder stays in the press till it's gone.
I like it. It's simple.
I mean, well, here's where the recipe came from, Matthew. What? You all right?
You all right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, just dogs.
No, it's my dogs.
Yeah.
So Captain Andy shoots Campro Full Metal Jacket, and he runs 4.2 grains, I believe. So I can always use less powder with X Metal bullets because they're not Full Metal Jacket; they're coated. So I figured if he's getting a solid cushion with 4.2, I'll be good with 4.
That'd be fine.
Cool.
Yeah, it'd be
I hope you're 3 power factor under.
Well, you know what? You say that. So one of the black badges this spring, I think it was the Woodstock one, or spring 2018, I brought out the my 45, and I was shooting some Campro, and I thought it was a proven recipe, and I was shooting, it was so smooth and so soft, and I was like, man, why haven't I been shooting 45 Classic forever? This is amazing. And then I cronied it, and it was like 137 or something. Now, for the listeners, it's supposed to be, who don't know, if you're shooting 45 in your gun in IPSC, it's got to be 170 power factor, and it was 137. So yeah, that's
down
what it was.
Quite a bit.
Matthew, I'm surprised it cycled, but I didn't have a big heavy spring, right? So
right.
Anyway, all right. What else did I get up to?
You never did tell me we had
So
breakfast.
like with your recoil
Pancakes.
spring that light, is your slide just taking all the rest of that energy with the differential? You're shooting something 130 power factor and the gun cycles just fine. You shoot something 170 is what you should be shooting. Wouldn't that just, like, all the extra force just be rammed right between the slide and the frame?
Which is why a buffer is a great idea. I think ironically, I think I've got a buffer in one of my 9s, but not my 45. So
Makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. If you're going to use lighter recoil springs, you should be using a buffer, because yes, you're slapping metal on metal, right? The back of your dust cover on the slide is, well, that part of the
with a 1911, it's going to break eventually. So
yeah, because
there's something in there is better.
Yeah, get on the internet right now and find me 5 broken 1911s that broke because of this. Please go for it. I'll wait.
On the internet right now.
And then I clean my PCC like I always do after every match, especially if it's a new gun, it's breaking in and stuff. And one of the complaints that people have about reliability at FX9 seem to be, well, they get pretty dirty pretty quick because it's direct blowback. So if you want to avoid any issues, keep them clean. Oh God, what am I? I'm knocking on like 700 rounds so far with. I only ever had that one failure to feed.
Yeah, on that first 200 or so, you said.
Yeah. And I've never looked back. So now this time I decided to take apart the lower to really get it clean. So I removed the bolt stop and the parts around the bolt stop and the ejector, because the ejector seemed a little loose. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to unscrew the ejector, take all these parts out. And then there was this one little piece of milled steel that looked like some kind of afterthought, like we've got a gap here, we need to take up some space, let's just fire a piece of steel in there. And I was panicking because it was time to leave, and we were leaving on a Friday to drive down to Fredericton, and I couldn't figure out where this part went. So I was like Facebooking Derek, our new Patreon, to get him to send me pictures of his gun, and then Wes to get him to send me pictures of his gun. And then all of a sudden I figured it out. So I Facebooked them back. I was like, never mind. And of course, well, what do you mean, never mind? What was so important you're freaking out about? But anyway, I figured it out based on a notch and groove type situation. So got that back together. And what else? I changed the grip and the stock on my WK. Let me just grab that. Now, Adriel was talking about putting a fixed stock on his WK. So that's what I did. And I've done this before, but it shortens the length of pull pretty significantly, which makes the eye relief quite challenging. So if you look, I've got the scope ring, the forward ring, all the way to the end of the receiver, just before the receiver stops and the handguard starts. So I'm out of room there. But I've got one of those, what's the name for them? A cantilever? The scope mount?
Cantilever mount? Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Those rings look really low. Like, do you?
They are super low.
Like, can you see out of that scope without having to jam your head sideways on the gun?
I can. Like, this is a hunting gun, so I don't plan on wearing hearing protection other than maybe earplugs at the range while practicing. So it's right there. But yeah, I agree. It is low. The problem may go away when I put the cantilever on. I never find the eye relief in the house is the same as when I actually get out to the range. Like, I adjust it in the house and it looks good, and I do it on high power and it looks good, and then I go outside, it's like, no, this isn't right.
Oh man,
Anyway.
I went to the range last week, and my scope reticle was like 2 degrees off, easy. I was like, what
Oh,
the
yeah?
hell? What's going on with this?
I'm not too worried about the level, but the eye relief usually tends to be a little different. So if you see how this fixed stock is made, there's a spacer between the stock and the castle nut, and it comes in 2 different sizes. So this is the larger of the two. And you'll notice if you look closely, I have 2 receiver end plates on there. And the first one, the one touching the back of the WK receiver, is the one that came with the gun, and I kept that on there because it's an ambi sling mount. But then right behind it is a thicker than typical AR-15 receiver end plate, and that was set up for a QD mount. So I used the Dremel and I flattened that. I grinded that off. Grinded. That's proper grammar, right? I grinded it off. And so then the buffer tube itself, I didn't screw all the way back into the receiver. So I probably gained almost a half an inch extra length of pull here. And then finally, Jeff at the Calgary Shooting Center, shop there, you're a communist, is going to order me, or has ordered me, the .80.
The PRS, it's the bigger
PRS
butt.
rubber
Yeah.
butt pad.
Oh, $20,
So that-
but it's
yeah.
a big chunk.
Big chunk of rubber, and that's going to help extend the length of pull. I mean, just look at the aesthetics now of this rifle, how much it's improved. They are chunky. They got a chunky backside. They remind me much of my prom date, and I was able to clean up those lines a little bit because of the way that stock fits. And then you'll notice here, I put on a Magpul grip without a beaver tail, and so the little A2 is gone. So I like it. It's cool. I put iron sights on my Sabertooth SKS. I had ripped the red dot off of that, put it on the air that I ended up training for the long branch, so there was no sighting system on that gun whatsoever. So I used the iron sights that were supposed to be the 45-degree iron sights that came with my Typhoon. The pop-up iron sights are on the Typhoon, one on the AR I sold Paul Lombard, and the ones that were on the 45-degree, I took them off the 45-degree and put them on the SKS and used one of the 45-degree mounts to put my 45-degree red dot on my FX9. And
so you have them at a 45 right now? Because that'd be sweet. Yeah, you could just... That's your main sighting, is just gangster style with the SKS.
Yeah.
At an angle. Why not?
That's all just horrible. But now, because you said that, I feel like I need to show it to you and drag this on a little bit longer.
You should put 2 45s on so it's a 90.
Then it is really a gangster style.
Yeah, that's really the way you gotta do it.
Tactical.
I think I liked it better when you guys just waited your turn.
Nope. You brought this on.
So yeah, there you go. So these are the sights that came with the Typhoon.
Right.
And the rear one's adjustable for windage and elevation, and the front one's adjustable for elevation. And I don't know if they're sitting level. I don't think so, because there's a step
Looks like
here.
the back one's higher.
Yeah.
So
the back one's definitely higher.
Yeah. Put them on a 45 as well 40, at the same time.
I am not. Nope.
Yeah, look how ergonomic
there you
that
go.
would be. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Look at that chicken wing.
Ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Stacy would be proud of that chicken wing.
Yeah, she would stick that elbow up.
Why don't you just put a laser on it?
Right on the top. So you can't even use the sights on it. It's just got a laser.
Like that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just do that.
You guys are ridiculous.
And then just shoot from the hip the whole time.
Put pictures on Instagram too.
I got more stuff, but I don't even want to buy. Well, Matthew will know about this if he makes it to the meeting on the 31st, but he's going to be like, no, I will just do whatever you say is what we're doing, and you can tell me all about it after the meeting.
Well, where's the meeting? Is it here in Woodstock?
No.
I won't be there.
It's in the Miramichi.
I'm really not going to be there.
It's the IPSC New Brunswick executive meeting in the morning, and then the Black Badge instructor meeting in the afternoon, where we will be discussing our new registration policies and procedures for 2019, new procedures and policies for payment and for student registration. So we shall see how that goes. Proposals at this point, trying to streamline the process, because last year we were chasing paperwork and money, and it was just a pain in the butt. So
use Practice Score. Practice Score has an event thing. So you can do like a Practice Score match, take payments that way. They have an event thing that you can take payments on. and then all their information's on there. You can put
No,
whatever
there's
you want to in the form.
There's membership forms need to be signed. There's registration forms need to be filled out.
You're going to attach that to it.
Make them do that. Make them do that online.
Yeah.
Hard enough time to get people to sign up for a match on Practice Score. I don't think the people here are ready to register for a black badge on Practice Score. I'm not saying it's not going to be. I'm not ruling it out, but I'm ruling it out for 2019. So, Adriel, what have you been up to?
They're old.
Yeah, it could be like a skill testing test on the way in. You got to figure out how to use Practice Score.
Well, I am going to.
You're gonna have to do it anyways for black badge, right?
I am going to start. Well, yeah, like at the back of the manual, it shows a qualifier stage, a classifier stage, sorry, and it shows a score sheet. And I'm like, you don't even look at this. Here's a tablet. Let me tell you about our friend Practice Score.
When someone says 2 alpha, this is what you do. When someone says Alpha Charlie, this is what you do. That should be part of a black badge test. Is like having them score a stage with a tablet.
No, that's part of an RO thing. No one's supposed to have the tablet in IPSC. I don't care about the other games. I'm not responsible for them. But in IPSC, your scorekeeper is supposed to be an RO because they're like a linesman in hockey. They're looking for foot faults. They're looking for a prop that blew over in the wind, and they're supposed to be an RO before they start putting in people's scores. So I won't be talking about how to use the score. I won't be teaching them how to put scores in black badge. Yeah. All right, Adriel.
All right, did a big range trip. Helped set up the skills and drills in the morning, and then I went and tested a bunch of stuff. I tested MP29 sights. They're on now.
And
they're on.
They're on as it's sighted in?
It is now sighted in.
Lined in, Trevor.
They look ridiculous. I was going to go with a 0.3 on the front, but that would have been like bottom right out on the back. So I'm like, I need a little bit of room. The only other option they had after that was a 0.34. So I went with the 0.34. And now the back sight is jacked right up, and the front sight is huge. It looks real silly.
Because it was what, shooting like 4 inches high at 10 or something?
It was massively high. Yeah.
All right, so now you got a super high front post.
Yes.
Okay.
But it's on. So
yeah, well, that's all that matters. Who cares what it looks like?
Yep. GSG, new sights on it. Those were fantastic. So Dawson Precision has these replacement sights for the GSG. They're pricey. They're like $100 for a $300 pistol. Seems like a lot, but they work fantastic. And I was ringing the steel at 50 yards, just pounding it with those sights. Aiming a little bit high, of course, because it's 22 pistol. AR ran fine. So this is the old barrel. And it ran
old
fine.
Everything?
Not everything. I ran the new trigger, old barrel. I can't remember all the other stuff. Anyways, it's reliable. Though I tried different combos of those.
Yeah, you've gotten too far into this. You don't even know what's what anymore.
Oh yeah. I don't even know.
Is this the one that had been cycling incorrectly?
Yeah.
But old barrel, and I have a whole bunch of XM 193 that I'm running, and it runs fine. So I'm just going to run that for this year. Who cares? Yeah. I'm running limited. It's red dot. I don't need like MOA precision.
It's good because you're not going to get it.
Not with a red dot. Let's see here. Try my Glock with the new ETS bags. They ran fine. They don't drop free though, so I'm going to see what I need to do to get them to drop free. But they
crush
ran
them in a vise. Crush
them. I was gonna get some sandpaper and do some sanding and whatnot.
What? You're not going to? No, really? That's crazy. I was raised and taught to crush them in a vise.
That sounds weird.
It does.
And I'm not even making it up, Adriel.
I swear you are. You're just messing with me right now. Crushing them in a vise.
I'm not telling you to do it. I'm telling you that's what I was told.
Don't crush it in a vise.
Yeah.
That's just
if your Glock makes don't drop free, crush them in a vise.
Just put acetone on it until it like gets soft, and then put it in again, and then it'll be. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
heat it up
I'll
in the
do
oven.
something. I'm not going to crush them in a device.
What you should do is Dremel out the mag well. Is probably the grip. Was probably the smarter idea. Like the mags are expensive. You should mess with the gun.
Sometimes,
right?
Some guns,
yeah.
Not this one. Let's see. I shot the BCL with the changed ejector, and it ran fine.
Your review was phenomenal.
I like
the
that
detail
review.
photos that you took showing the 2 different bolt designs was phenomenal.
Yep.
Well thought out, well organized, well done.
I liked it. Good job.
Good news, BCL has hired somebody to actually handle nothing but warranty requests.
Yep.
That's neat.
So
whereas they just didn't have anyone before. It just wasn't, as far as I know, it was just
Well,
like,
they did
thing
have
is, like,
somebody.
the
He just
phone's
didn't-
ringing. Somebody want to get that?
what
that
phone?
was-
What phone? What are you talking about, Trevor?
Yeah,
They don't got
exactly.
a phone. So I'm not salty about it. I tried using their warranty process since December, and I haven't got anywhere. The thing is, I posted the review on Reddit, and like, there's a ton of other people. Yeah, I got the same thing. They've got my gun. They've had it for months, and I have heard nothing of it.
Crazy.
Same thing on CGN. So it sounds like it's a common thing.
Is it a coincidence that right after your review came out, SFRC dropped them?
It is a coincidence.
Kelly said, no, it's not a coincidence. Thank you, Kelly.
SFRC
Don't say
dropped
what you really meant. Move on.
No, I'm just saying SFRC dropped them before the review came out.
Yes.
Oh,
so it was a coincidence. Yes.
Obviously. And they didn't necessarily drop them. I picked that language on purpose.
Yes. They've positioned themselves so that it's better for both companies.
Yeah. So I mean, I'll spoil the review. I mean, the gun's more inexpensive than the Stag. It's I would say the trigger is okay on it, even though mine was like a 6.5 pound mil spec trigger. I think that for the price, the Stag 10's the better way to go, because by the time you add all the things, like a Stag 10, you can buy one off the shelf for $2,200, right? But for $2,200, you get a decent fore-end, a decent stock, a decent all these other things. And when you price out the changes to put onto a BCL to get it to what that Stag would be, it's the same price. So you might as well, like, if you're going to buy one off the shelf, you might as well get the Stag 10. If you're going to build one, you might as well build the Stag 10. If you're going to buy one and not change it, and you're going to like stay low price, the BCL I think is fine. If you're just going to do that and you don't mind tinkering with the ejector and that kind of thing.
Switch out the ejector.
Yes. Yeah, which might have to be something that you have to do. It might not just work out of the box. Because this thing, like, this is how I got out of the box. I got mine in November.
Are they selling receiver sets?
They were.
And
yes.
Were they less than Stag?
No. The Stags are like all the pricing pressure has come from the Stags coming to the market.
All right.
Yeah. Anywho, that's up on my website if you want to review, check that out.
It was good. I like your quote on the anti-vaxxer.
Yeah. Thank you, Kelly.
I thought that was fun. Yeah.
Let's hear the quote. Come on. The gun ejected with all the force of
an anti-vaxxer's kid with polio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely appropriate.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I shot the BCL. I got like 2-inch groups with it at 100, like nothing fancy. I didn't shoot like a ton of ammo through it, and I think if I would have shot a ton of ammo through it, I'd have something a little bit more solid. So I'm still going to do that, but not with this range trip, because I had a whole bunch of other stuff going on with this range trip. I couldn't afford to sit and run through a whole bunch of ammo with it. But the reliability was top notch ever since putting that new ejector in. It's the ejector profile. I think I talked about this before on a different show.
Yep, you did.
Ejector profile was it. Yep.
Like, it's the only ejector I've ever seen with that profile. And why? Like, why would you? What are you thinking?
I put a $5 True North Arms ejector in it. Works fine now.
With a traditional profile.
Yes.
Yeah, go figure.
Yeah. I shot the Scorpio EM332. That was the accuracy wasn't fantastic on it either. So that's using the same action as that Norinco 522. As far as I know, it's got the same barrel. It's just turned down. Accuracy wasn't as good. So they're disappointing a little bit on that. I did some 22 testing on my 522. I changed the bases with it, and I jacked up the rear, and it did not do nearly as much as I wanted it to. I need to like bring some tools out to the range and start screwing around with bases out there, so I get that like 30 MOA base for Chinese eBay pricing. And I did a whole pile of shooting with the Marlin 795.
Cool.
Yeah. fun stuff. Lots of shooting. The nice thing with shooting the 795 though, I load up a 25 round mag, throw 27 shells in it, burn the first 2, and then fire off all 5 groups one right after the other. That was a lot nicer than my Norenko. I'd have to run like 10 round mag, 5 round mag, reload one of my 5 round mags. Whereas this was just do a whole bunch of loading and then do a whole bunch of shooting.
Yep. The 25 round mags are nice for that.
Yep. Yeah, they're super reliable. The only reliability issues I had was with Winchester 22 ammo not going off, which that's anything new.
That's what it does.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just doesn't always go off.
Yeah, it's cheap and it doesn't always go off, but at least it's mostly inaccurate. I found a thread on GOC about extended axis mags by some MMAT guy. Any of you guys know about this?
No, he's kind of shady, I think.
So actually, I think I can show this on camera. I've looked at the rules and then how I went about this, and I think I'm good to go. So I had ignore this part, ignore the top part for a minute. I had a 520 Magpul mag for an AR-10, 520, right? I took the bottom part off. I pulled the follower down as much as it could. I chopped the top off. There's my new top. So now, with 2 pieces of a mag, is this like a worm where both of them are the mag? I don't think so. This part actually latches into an AR-10. This part, chopped in half, doesn't latch into anything anymore.
It's not a magazine anymore then, I don't think.
It's just a body.
It's just the body, just the bottom of the body.
So now I'm left with this little guy. And I took my Axis mag guts and I put it in this, and now I have a little 4-rounder mag. It's kind of useless because it goes way up into the into the mag well, but it's so convenient. Now, if I go hunting with that, if I keep that BCL until hunting season, I go hunting with it. Look at
3D,
that.
3D print and extension.
I could, or I could have like a tiny little mag that fits in my pocket really well. It drops free just fine.
Yeah.
And it just pops right into the mag well, and it's got another 3 inches on the bottom there, but
it works.
It's great for a little hunting mag. Really, the reason why I did this was not to get a 4-round mag and basically butcher my mag. It was to do this. To make because this Axis mag wasn't fantastic. There was something that I broke on the base plate here, so I grafted this guy on here, and now it fits lots of 308.
Which follower?
It's using the Magpul follower that was in here.
Really?
I had to shape it.
Feed okay?
It does feed okay.
Nice.
So actually, I stole this idea. I found it on Reddit. Some guy had done it with 223, and they had grafted Magpul. No, not a Magpul mag. Some other mag, maybe like a 10-round LAR mag or something like that, onto their Axis mag. With the 223, they were able to actually get the magazine inside the Axis mag, and then you could pin or rivet it or do something like that. With this one, because the mag is basically the same width as the Axis mag, I had to graft it to the bottom of the Axis mag using epoxy.
Oh, and not like skin graft.
What's that?
You said grafting, so I was picturing some kind of skin grafting.
Well,
That's
mag grafting. Yeah. So now I got this big old Axis mag, and I've got an Axis with a super skinny barrel that probably heats up after 4 rounds, and this is not super useful. But they have heavy barrel Axis.
They do. They do. I've seen the 22-250 heavy barrel and the 308 heavy barrel and the 223 heavy barrel. They're
And
like hen's teeth.
6.5 Creedmoor heavy barrel.
Don't care. Man bun. Guys who wear shirts like you're wearing shoot 6.5 Creedmoor.
Oh, well, then I'm going to get it because
You have to. And
Yeah.
that ring just screams 6.5 Creedmoor as well.
Did we have some guts recently? Never mind.
Anyway, so yeah, maybe a heavy barrel Axis 6.5 or 308 will get matched up with this guy. I'll sell my other one with the mag I get from that,
Right.
and then you go hunting.
Does it hold 20 rounds?
Oh yeah, it holds 20 rounds. Yeah,
Nice.
it's close to 21, but that top one was
Not
wants to
quite.
pop out. Yeah,
Yeah.
Or for you hunters out there, you just you buy a box of ammo, you load this up, and you're good for 20 years.
Basically.
Pretty much.
Shoot a deer every year and just unload it, pull the mag out, put it on the shelf. Still loaded.
Perfect.
Good to go.
Yeah, it was a very useful thing I did here.
Fun, though.
It was fun.
And
It was fun.
innovative.
Yeah, it was
It's
just-
so useful, in fact, that you're considering buying a whole new gun just for that mag.
it wouldn't be the first time I've bought a gun because I had like a part for it.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Captain
an AR.
Andy. Captain Andy's already got some leftover stag parts, and he's like, "Now I see. Now I understand how this happens.
Yeah.
What am I going to do
You
with
gotta
this one
put them
part?"
somewhere.
Ooh. One of the Trevors, I think, is saying that IBI makes a barrel for the Axis.
The better, Trevor.
Oh,
Interesting.
interesting. Yeah.
Oh,
I probably
that is
didn't think about that.
interesting.
Let's see what else they do. Hey, there was this high capacity magazine that got out. So I didn't want to start talking about it until the magazine was officially out, but I think it's officially out, and I'm in there.
Yay. I know that guy.
Yeah, doing some 3-gun stuff, talking about 3-gun and whatnot. That's neat.
Cool.
Yeah.
You have some pretty good photographers.
That's
Take your picture.
not the most flattering angle of Adriel I've ever seen.
The butt.
His
The
face?
butt?
Oh,
I didn't
I
take
put
that
that one in there on purpose.
Why?
I thought my butt looked great. Come on, Trevor, you're hurting my feelings here.
But in that position, like ready to receive, like it's awful, man. Like of all the poses,
You're really hurting my feelings.
thank God you don't have any.
True. I ordered a WK 180C brass deflector. So there's
What?
2 versions of this now. There's a $45 one, which is really nice. It's really nice. It looks really well.
Who makes this?
made.
I must Google it.
Did you eBay? You don't need to Google it. Go on eBay. There's a $20 one now. So these are all 3D printed, right? This guy's 3D printing this one. $20 plus $5 shipping. Hook me up. So I ordered one of them
Why?
because it deflects the brass, and I don't have to
Your
put the
brass
mag.
is already being deflected. What are you going on about?
It flips back and it hits. So I've got the Magpul Type 1 rail cover covering that slot, which has been working just fine. But this is a brass deflector. It's going to get that brass out of there better and cover that slot and not come off, because sometimes that Magpul stuff might like loosen up.
And get the brass out of there more gooder. Have you had a malfunction related to no brass deflector?
No, not whatsoever. No,
It's
Right,
part.
but-
It's $20.
but I'm going to get it anyways because $20. And then I'm getting ready for my first 3-gun match of the year. It's happening this Saturday. It's going to be muddy and yeah, fun. So yeah, but I'll talk about the belts later. Kelly, what about you? What have you been up to?
Just can't.
What have I been up to? I went to the Toronto Sportsman Show on Saturday. I was at the CCFR booth. We had a lot of people stopping by, listeners as well, that stopped by and said, "Hey, Kelly." And I said hello to them. Some of them actually even came by just specifically to say hello. Saturday was extremely busy. We were like at times, 5, 6 people, even, I don't know, maybe 50 people in the booth. So it was kind of crowded.
Those
But-
numbers are like 5 or 6 or 50. Like,
Well, 5 or 6 people deep,
oh, Jeebus.
but there's like 50 people, 60 people in the booth, and everybody wanted, like, we had t-shirts and patches and stickers and all kinds of stuff that we were both selling and giving away. Everybody wanted all the swag, and I was the person that was doing all the transactions, both with money and debit cards and credit cards. I was rocking. It was busy. Tracy and Rob were both there, so we had a lot of people stopping by just to get their pictures taken, to say thank you, shaking hands, and it was really nice to see everyone, because everybody was saying thank you very much to the CCFR for all the work that we've been doing, especially with C71 recently. So it was nice to see. What else? Yesterday we released for Maple Seed. I posted it both on all of our social media. If you go onto our website, you can get a hoodie that is a fundraiser right now for Project Maple Seed. And yes, it says we put the fun in the fundamentals. I think we stole that from the Furlacci crew, didn't we?
Yes, I think
Copyright
you did.
infringement, trademark. Come on.
Yeah, I saw that.
Something.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about
Wait,
it.
we don't put the
I
fun
didn't
in.
come up.
No, that's
Trevor,
right,
we
Matthew.
don't put the fun in fundamentals. We put the
the
mental
mental
in
back in
fundamentals.
fundamentals.
See,
That's
I didn't-
right.
we
But
didn't
it's okay. They can have the fun. We're having the mentals.
That's right.
Yeah, you guys are mental.
We are mental.
For $50, you can purchase the plus shipping. You can purchase the hoodie, and it'll go and half the proceeds go to supporting us. So that's awesome.
Do you guys sell bunny hugs as well?
Yes, we do sell bunny hugs for those of you in Saskatchewan. Is it Alberta or Saskatchewan that you say
Can
bunny
someone-
hugs?
Saskatchewan.
What's a bunny hug?
A freaking hoodie? They're the only place that calls it a bunny hug.
So it's just a hoodie, but they call it a bunny hug.
We used to call them
Who?
a kangaroo.
Oh,
Something.
we did.
Yeah, remember that? They were called
Yeah.
kangaroo something.
But bunny hug, no, they're a hoodie. Just a hoodie.
Yeah, in the 90s they turned into a hoodie.
Yes. Okay, lock it on me.
Okay, yeah.
So coat of arms. I got my new coat of arms hoodie, and this is the whiteout one. You can buy this one, plus there's an AR one as well. And if you take a picture of it and post it on their Facebook group, social media of any sort, they will enter you into a draw where you can win a gun of some sort. All kinds of different sponsors are donating. You can even win a BCL, apparently. A lot of sponsors are donating guns. So the whiteout. Speaking of coat of arms, I saw the publisher. So coat of arms also does the TV show, but they also do the high capacity magazine that Adriel was in. I saw Corey Levitt at the Toronto Sportsman show as well. He is the editor for high capacity magazine. He said that he's going to be coming on the show soon. Is that
Yep.
right, Trevor?
April 11th, I believe.
Cool.
Right. So him, as well as his partner in crime, Dave Hopkins, are going to be coming on. But I was talking to Corey about the whiteout giveaway, the whiteout t-shirts, sweatshirts giveaway. He said that it's been extended. It's been so popular. He doesn't have a cutoff date yet, so can buy your hoodie or your sweatshirt or your hat, post the picture, and then you can maybe win a gun. I say do it. I'm going to do it later this evening. I got to see Dan Demers from Nanook as well at the Toronto Sportsman show.
Lucky bum.
I know, eh? So
I meant Dan.
oh, well, thank you.
Because he got to meet you. You're famous.
You guys to see me all
People
the
know
time.
you. People show up and you're like, I don't know who these peasants are, but they're addressing me by my first name.
I
And
know.
they are not allowed to.
It
Yeah.
is a little weird when they say, "Hey, Kelly," and I'm going, hi, do I know you? Oh, yeah, I listen to Slamfire. Okay. But, yeah, Dan, I see him all the time. I see him quite a bit. He's a really, really nice guy. He's probably one of the nicest guys in
In the industry, hands
industry.
down. Yep.
Yep.
Amazing guy.
Super. He's always smiling. I don't know if that guy ever has a bad day. Like, seriously. But he gave me a new Nanook Nano case. This is a net. I don't remember where I put it. I think
I
Kevin,
got so many Nanook cases I can't keep track of them.
I know. So I stopped by and I said hi to him. I told him that I was still waiting for mine, my orange one, but he said, just hold on a second, I got something for you. So he went and got me one of the little nanos. It was black. It's brand new. And I said, oh, this is slim. I said, it's black. It's slim and sexy. Slimming. And he said, well, it's not see-through and it floats. So one guy said that I can put all my weed in it now. I'm going, okay.
How big is it?
It's
Hold it up.
big enough.
That'll never hold all your weed. You need the 935.
Personal use. I said I didn't really think about that. Dan said I didn't either.
It's not a marketing angle we're going for, but yes, it's true.
Absolutely.
That's way too beefy of a container for weed. Come on.
It floats. So take it out.
So does weed.
Weed in a baggie floats.
That's true. Okay. But speaking of weed in a bag, no, that's not right. Speaking of nanos, I wanted to tell you guys about this. I didn't know. Do you guys know that this month's challenge for Project Maple Seed, this is what you get to win?
Nice.
Yeah, we're giving away the Nano. The Nick Nano. So go download the challenge, go and shoot it, and then somebody will win it. I'm
Is
gonna
it the
send it to somebody.
snowflake one?
It is the snowflake. We're shooting snowflakes.
I mean, that sounds like a good challenge.
I
It's
thought
very
it was-
difficult. There's lots of small targets. You got to hit them from prone.
It is very difficult because snowflakes are hard to hit. Um, there's one last thing I wanted to tell you guys about. As I was coming home today, there was a box at the door, and we got 100 copies of this. This is from Ryan Kleckner. He is a shooter down the U.S. He sent us this thing. It's books. It was coordinated with one of our Maple Cedar instructors. He said, there's this guy, he writes adult books on shooting, but he also writes kids books. So they sent us 100 copies for our kids youth program. It's called There's Only One You, a gun safety book for children. So It's all about gun safety for children. And I'm just going to let you know right now, I am going to be sending the first copy down to Matthew and Jewel. So for Violet. Oh my God, it is awesome.
That's cute. She'll love
Yeah.
it.
So we're going to give one away to all of the kids. It's not something that's suitable for, 13 or 14-year-olds, but 10 and under, I think 10 and under, they'd like it. And Violet. I'm going to send her one too. That's it.
I'll read it to her every night.
Violet can't read yet, Kelly.
I can, though. Well, Jewel can.
Matthew and Jewel. I'm sure that Matthew will add.
I'll read it to her on YouTube. That's a great idea, actually.
Matthew will add to it. See, there's a marlin right there. You can.
Yeah, that's
You
the
can update
papoose
it.
right there. I can tell.
Okay. So I thought it was cool.
Is that kid going to go whack some gophers with it?
You bet.
Darn right. My kid is, that's for sure.
Cool.
Okay.
And anything else, Kelly?
No, that's it.
All right, let's jump into the news. Who
Alright.
wants to take the first one?
Yeah, New Zealand's going to ban. Legislation's going. They said they're going to.
They did it in the order in council this morning at 3:00.
Oh, it's done then. Okay, well they're banning.
Done.
Their word for what they're banning is here. Let me take it off you, Kelly. Their word for what they're banning is military style semi-automatics. But really, it's just like any semi-automatic, basically, because
any magazine fed, detachable magazine fed semi-auto basically is what's been banned. And they have some interesting wording where if the magazine holds more than 5 rounds or appears to be able to hold more than 5 rounds, they can't do extensions like we can here. They can't just pin a mag. The mag has to be physically cut and welded or whatever.
They took that from
They got
Australia.
it way worse.
Mhm.
Yeah, Australia does the same thing.
Yeah. So they're going to do a
Sucks.
buyback. They're buying back something like $200 million worth of guns. And actually, we didn't even say why. So after our last show, same day, there was a mass shooting in New Zealand where 50 people died. And this is New Zealand's response is to ban it all.
Yeah, ban the things that.
Take the things away from the people that didn't do it.
That's right. That's what they're doing. It's
Yeah.
silly. Now the thing is, I was reading an article where they said that within hours or within days, they had 70,000 signatures in a petition saying, "Please take away our semi-autos."
People were turning them on already.
People were
Not
turning
that
them in.
many.
No,
So that they trumped.
No,
up the
70,000 weren't
60,
turning them in, but that's how many they got in this on the petition. That
So they
country.
tracked how many people gave in. 30 people gave in their guns
No, this is the thing you do. My neighbors had a child out of wedlock, so I got a vasectomy. It's never happened since,
Yeah,
Mhm.
right?
like
That's-
I don't. But
I also cut up my credit card in an effort to prevent credit card fraud.
Yep.
Yeah, like the
But they don't-
CBC
like, they
had
don't-
an article where some farmer turned in his
Yeah.
gun.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
but
That just looked like somebody who wanted some attention. That's what
Yeah,
that
like
looked
the guy
Let
in the
the
United
photo up.
States after the Vegas shooting, he chopped the barrel in two
Oh,
on
yeah.
his AR-15, creating an SBR.
yeah,
Dummy. So here's the thing. We talked about this when Jordan was on. Gun laws that exist are only as effective as the people responsible for administering them.
Mhm.
This guy did not get his gun. There was a problem with the process.
he had a
through.
Class A in Australia, which apparently was easy to get, and then in New Zealand they just gave him a Class A because he had that in New Zealand. So apparently there was some enforcement
There's an
issues
issue.
here.
If you go through the proper channels in New Zealand, they actually conduct a home interview with you.
Right.
Yeah.
And that wasn't done. So yeah,
So it's great that the government failed.
Yeah,
and
and
so
as a
their
result,
response is, instead of let's beef up our securities
Or just
scrutiny,
do it
no,
right.
let's just take away all the guns. Instead of doing it right, we'll just take away all your guns.
Yeah, this is our fault. We dropped the ball and let this guy have a license.
Yeah, so give us all your guns.
Obviously, you have to give us your guns now because we screwed up. That's right.
I mean,
I'm blaming
like
the New Zealand government.
our risk is that that'll happen in Canada. We've talked about it before, that the enforcement of the law is not great here in Canada. That they're not enforcing stuff that's already on the books, that's in place that they could, and instead they're going to throw more laws at it to solve a problem that it could be solved already with the existing laws in place.
Yes and no. You and I and Kelly and Matthew all know that you can have all the laws in the world you want. It doesn't matter. A criminal's going to do what a criminal's going to do. Criminals are called criminals because by definition, they don't obey the laws. You can have all the gun laws in the world you want. You can take all the guns from the law-abiding citizens away that you want. If someone wants to commit a mass shooting, they're not going to go through legal channels to acquire their firearms to do it. So the gun laws,
killing, right? So like if someone's going to do a mass killing and guns are a tiny bit,
but we're talking about guns, and I mean, yes, if someone wants to do a mass killing, someone wants to do a mass killing, they'll rent a Ryder truck,
run people over in a crowd,
and they will get some fertilizer, and they will Timothy McVeigh the Oklahoma City. Building.
I mean, they could do that too, but yeah, they could literally just drive into a crowd as well, though. I mean, like that's the thing. Like, you just need a driver's license.
Yep.
Well, let's take away all the trucks then. Don't want people getting run over.
You don't see them doing that, though, do you?
No.
Which is exactly what. Let's say the Simpsons made fun of this the time that the aliens took over and they got rid of all the guns.
Yep.
And then Mo chased them away with a board with a nail in it. And they were like, pretty soon they'll have a board with a nail so big they'll destroy themselves.
Yeah.
You know, it just goes to show, like, if you take away the guns, they'll use the white vans.
Well, and one of the other news pieces in here, so they're going to take away all the military style semi-automatics, which is all the semi-automatics, essentially. They've got some 22s that they'll be allowed to keep. But in Australia, the response to a shooting in New Zealand was a call for a ban on military-style bolt-action and lever-action rifles.
Australia's been trying to get rid of those. Yep.
I mean, Australia's trying to get rid of all the guns. Yeah,
but I mean that's the direction that things end up going if you get rid of the military-style semi. Like, I can see some of the farmers and some of the sportsmen out there. They're like, oh, we don't need those. We'll just hunt with our bolt-action rifles and our pump shotguns and that kind of thing. But they don't realize that's next. That's the
next
thing. That's the thing that rapid. The pump action shotgun is a rapid fire firearm. You have to get rid of that. That's
and the bolt action is a repeater.
And it's military style too.
And it's military style.
Remington 700. That's an M21 or an M24, right?
So here's what it's going to end up being if the government says, okay, fine, you're allowed to continue to hunt. What it's going to end up being is single shot smoothbores.
Well, I was thinking at least a single shot small caliber rifle and a single shot crack action.
Yeah, single shot smoothbore. So like Kui 84, it's going to be all that's left. Maybe the Kui 39, the single shot. Well, no, it's bolt action. Trevor can't do that.
Oh, right, bolts are going
to have to be. It's going to have to be a break action as well.
Could we at least have rifled
shotguns? I don't know. No, I think they're going to just say no. Rifling improves your accuracy long distance, and that's a sniper. You can't do that.
Anyways,
it's going to be shotguns only. And in fact, I think in rural China, that is one of the things. They are allowed to hunt in rural China, I think, and they are allowed smoothbore shotguns, and that's it. Now, I could be wrong on that, but it's something I read somewhere once.
Depends on the area. I've seen some video from some guys in China. They're using other stuff out there as well. Okay. Yeah,
probably. Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, China's not that big, but it's kind of big, right? So,
am I the only one that feels funny supporting a firearms industry in a country that doesn't allow civilian ownership?
No, you're not the only one that feels that way.
Because like a lot of cool rifles are made in Japan. There's zero civilian ownership in Japan.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of us love the Norinco products, and not a lot of civilian ownership. Like, it's ridiculous that the government allows industry to produce guns for other countries, but won't let their own citizens have them. So they recognize the value of firearms, as a commodity.
But they know that it's too dangerous in the hands of their own civilians. They don't care about the country here, though. They don't care if we all kill each other over here in North America. In fact, it'd be easier for them to dominate us in the next 10 years or whatever.
Yeah. She's going to hell in a handbasket, boys.
Yeah. Well,
as a Canadian, like the issue here is New Zealand's going to enact sweeping legislation on this stuff, and people are going to be calling for the Liberals to do the same thing.
Yep.
And that's how it impacts us here, is that they say, oh, well, New Zealand's doing that, well, we should do the same thing, or we should do something along the way of that, and it gets us down this slippery slope of going backwards in time in firearms technology that we're allowed. I mean, semi-autos have been around for more than 100 years. It's a more convenient way of loading a firearm, and I think that if this continues and this goes to Canada, we'll see a similar thing out here.
Yeah.
See some trumped up definition of what an assault weapon is.
Well, that's what the Liberals are already saying they want to get rid of. They're saying that they want to get rid of all semi-auto.
They're saying, they're playing footsie on this. They're, well, we've considered everything up to and including a full ban on handguns and assault weapons, which is what they've said. But they haven't actually said what they're going to do. They haven't even actually given a hint towards it, even though they're months overdue on this.
Yeah. Well,
we'll see. They'll probably pull it up as a federal election thing, right?
Yep.
Try to distract people away from this corruption and scandal with bribery and whatnot, right?
Yep.
All right. Next news item. Did you put that in too, Adriel?
Yeah. I thought it was a funny title and everything. Yeah. 22 bullet found in Fossgate, York. And is it a 22 bullet? It's a cartridge. It's a cartridge. Yeah. Anyways, someone found a
round of 22 ammunition.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. They called the police.
Yeah, called the police, and there was this big hubbub about
it's
22.
In safe storage now.
It was not in safe storage. It was on the street.
No, it is now.
Oh, it is now. Okay. They didn't detonate it on location. They didn't get one of those bomb robots and like blow it up in one of those cone
blow
things.
Up the block just to get rid of one little cartridge.
Yeah.
No, but there is a picture of the guys, kneeling beside the spot where he found the bullet.
I found a bullet here. It was dangerous.
Maybe it was used in a murder. It was a cartridge. This is a
fully intact cartridge.
Yes.
It was just a casing.
No, it was an actual.
It was a full cartridge.
Full cartridge. Yeah. Tim Stark said he was unloading items into the Moore music store where he works in Fossgate yesterday morning when he spotted what he believed to be a live 22 bullet glaring in a puddle.
Glaring in a puddle. It was an angry bullet.
Yeah. He said he immediately called the police, who came and took it away. I have no idea what it was doing there, he said.
What? This is ridiculous. Like,
waiting to go off.
Have we gotten this far in society where somebody is scared to pick up a stupid cartridge and go, well, maybe a kid will swallow that. No, maybe I'll throw that in the garbage.
This is UK. Pinky up. Pinky up. When you pick up the ammo with pinky up.
Oh, Fossgate, York. I thought this was New York. Oh, this is hilarious.
York, regular old York. Old York.
Right, old York. So, Matthew,
the original York.
Not only is it bad enough that the sight of a mere round of ammunition causes police to be called, that's bad, yes. But it made the news. Okay? This is the real problem.
That is a problem. It really is.
You have nothing going on if this makes the news. A man saw a round of ammunition and called the police. Really? You want me to run what? You're fired. Get out of here, Peter Parker. Like, what are you doing? Oh, God. Anyway. All right. So the next story we already covered. The next story, though, this one breaks my heart. Go ahead, Adriel.
Hudson, makers of the H9 pistol, they are bankrupt.
Yep.
So a little bit of background on this. It started off, for myself anyway, and a lot of listeners, we heard that Hudson was in trouble when they were in no show at SHOT Show. So because they weren't at SHOT Show and there was a lot of questions being asked, how come you're not at SHOT Show? they put out a press release saying that it would be financially irresponsible to use money to go to SHOT Show when we're dealing with a lawsuit. So they outsourced a couple of parts for the pistol, namely the magazine catch or release and the extractor. These parts were not manufactured to their
Specifications.
no, not their specifications, to their satisfaction, and
Fine.
they were failing. And so a lot of the guns were coming in for warranty work for these two parts. We have a friend of the show who has one, and he's having an issue with the mag catch being out of spec. And actually, Kelly, I apologize. You're right. Some of the parts were not made to specification. It was determined that the tooling used to mill the mag catches was worn, and so the mag catches were out of spec, and mags were falling out of the gun. So Hudson told the company, we're not going to pay you until you correct this problem. And the company said, no, that's not how it works. We're going to sue you. And if you were sued in the United States, it's no joke. It's not like up here in Canada. Thankfully, we don't sue each other every day like some other people in other countries do. I listened to a comedy podcast, and the host of the comedy podcast was involved in a lawsuit. The lawsuit never made it to discovery, okay? It got thrown out. But guess how much it cost just to get thrown out? Take a guess.
100?
Oh, no. 10 grand.
36.
36 grand?
$36,000. $36,000 just to get the lawsuit thrown out. They didn't even make it to the discovery stage. So you can well imagine something as big as what Hudson was going through, where I believe the lawsuit against Hudson was in the 100,000, 130,000 range. So,
well, Ian from Forgotten Weapons mentioned something about that's one.
He
part.
did a video.
The other part was they made an aluminum framed version, and he was like, "Oh, the aluminum framed version is way better. I'm going to buy one of those." They weren't ready to start making the aluminum framed version. They were making the steel framed version. So some of the demand and some of the purchases that would have been made and helped with cash flow stopped because people were waiting for the quote unquote better version because they released it at SHOT Show. So they might have shot themselves in the foot by releasing something a little bit too early and reducing the demand for their pistol that was already in production.
This is it's a sad day in the firearms industry, because I truly do believe that the Hudson H9 was a revolutionary design.
It was one of the new pistols that actually did something cool.
Yes,
yeah.
It was actually a good design. It was.
Yeah, very well said, Matthew. It wasn't just change for the sake of change. This was a change that made sense and was going to make for a really good pistol.
Well, someone else will scoop them up. Like
is it not? Yeah, hopefully it's not too late. But if
it can never be too late. Someone will get the leftovers, and with the leftovers, they'll do something. And something is selling the design to someone who will produce it, right?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Can Hudson sell the patent to somebody?
Well, hopefully they'd have more than the patent. Hopefully they'd have the patent, some of the design, some of the tooling, some of like all this other stuff that another company would need to take it. Because if you imagine one of the bigger gun companies picking this up and then starting to produce it, they could do a better job of it, right? Maybe they could produce more. Maybe they could produce
Wouldn't
it
have
at
to
a less
outsource
cost.
anything.
Yeah. Or they'd have more control over quality. Like imagine Ruger picked that up or something like that, right?
Yep.
Good to go.
Yeah, it would turn out blocky and ugly.
Well, they've already got the design, so it'd be Ruger's knowledge in MIM parts and cast parts that would really come into play there.
Mm-hmm.
Also cast.
Yeah, this is the thing. Maybe they had the people who were milling these extractors and magazine releases. Maybe they had no experience in firearms parts. So
yeah,
but anyway,
there's
maybe
some stuff that can have tolerance and some stuff that can't.
Right. So maybe, Adriel, you could post in the show notes a link to Forgotten Weapons video on this.
Sure. Yeah.
All right, cool. And the next item we already discussed, FRC is no longer the distributor for BCL.
Mm-hmm.
And there were more Senate hearings on C-71. Anything noteworthy? What? Okay, that was
it's in italics.
I'm not supposed to read that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, italics. Yeah, see the slant, Trev. You got to slant it.
Yeah. Is there anything else for news?
No.
Okay, new gun stuff.
Oh, newsflash! Trevor forgets what italics means.
Put that in italics. Wolverine is blowing out smoke grenades.
Sweet.
Yeah, so if you want one of them, they got them for cheap.
Cool. For IPSC matches and stuff. And
Gophers, for smoking gophers out of their holes.
That's a great
does
idea.
that work? Is that a thing?
I haven't ever used that kind of smoke grenade.
Can we
but
try
I've
it?
used other smoke grenades and water. Like
Interesting.
as kids, one of the things that when my cousins would get us to do is you give each kid like 2 pails and then go to the river or whatever and they get some water and they pour it down the gopher hill till the gopher comes up and then you shoot it or get a dog on it or whatever other savage things I
Drown
did
it
as
in
a
the
kid.
pail of water.
And I'm gonna say this one. Will punched one.
What?
You guys
He
know
punched
Will.
one.
He
Will
punched,
punched a gopher
and
death?
killed it. Yeah. Uh-huh.
and
He
killed
punched
it?
a gopher to death.
Yes. This is something that happened. I was like, I don't
Wait,
know. I
do
would have
I
been
need
like
to
7 or
punch a
something.
groundhog to death in order to like?
I don't think you could.
You have
I
to
don't think
drop
I could
kick it,
either.
maybe?
It's like punching a cinder block.
Yeah.
Drop kick it. That makes more sense. Okay, let's hear it. How did this happen? How did Will punch a gopher to death?
So like this is many years ago. When
Was
we
it
were a
hanging
kid.
off these nuts?
Nope. It was we were pouring water into one of the holes and the
Yeah.
dogs were not doing their things and some of the other kids had sticks and they weren't paying attention and this gopher popped up and he's like there pop and punched it against the hole. Oh, I saw it. I saw it happen.
Saw it
He
with my own
punched
2 eyes and face.
punched a gopher into the hole and killed it.
Will wins. I'm sorry, he wins. There's
You know
I
that
don't
thing where the gophers pop up and you bump them on the head
yeah,
with the mallet?
whack-a-mole. Yeah, he nailed
Whack-a-mole.
it.
I'm not really sure we should be laughing at this, which is why I'm enjoying laughing at this. All right.
Hand-to-hand combat with gophers is
Yeah,
Well, he
man.
was coming right at him.
What
It
choice
was
did he have?
self-defense.
Yeah, he could have been killed. He could have got the monkeypox or whatever, though. That's yeah.
He was
Um,
vaccinated against that. It's okay.
So Tenda has the M&P 1522 Sporter on for $329. So you buy it and you immediately send it back for a recall. Excellent.
perhaps. Yeah, but it's very inexpensive.
Yeah.
It's
I was
cheapest
gonna
price
say.
I've seen for a long time.
Never.
CTC has build your own Glock. What's that about, Adriel? You
So-
put that in?
Yeah, CTC has all non-Glock parts enough to build a Glock, not a Glock, a fake Glock. So
Yep.
you could use a Polymer 80 lower, Lone Wolf stuff on the top. They've got a couple of selections on slides. They've got enough stuff where it's like Brennell's had one of those AR builders where it's like you clutch stuff together from all sorts of different manufacturers. Now you can do the same thing with CTC supplies. Build like your own race Glock.
Now, this 80%, where are we with the 80% Glock frames now? Are they required to serialize it and verify it and register it before they sell it to you now?
These are finished lowers, like they're Polymer 80, but they're finished.
Okay, so they're
Glocks.
already on the books. They're already serialized.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah.
They
I
also
should-
have the Hudson H9.
Oh yeah.
If you want a piece of history, they have one for sale. More than one, I don't know. They were in inventory.
Piece of history. Somebody out there, you know who can make a new extractor for this?
Captain Andy.
I was going to say someone with a CNC machine,
Mhm.
which he doesn't have, but it's only a matter of time.
Paper clips. He's a MacGyver with steel. He can make it happen.
Yeah, man. See what he did that infield?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's our buddy that has the one with the mag release that's an issue. I bet he's going to do it. He's going to do
There
it.
we go.
He's going to mill a new mag release for that thing and then Cerakote it. All right. Canada Ammo. What do they got going on?
They've got both 303 Brit and 8mm Mauser for about $1 a round.
Now,
so
what
if you're-
vintage is this? This is new, old?
The 303 Brit is steel cased,
Yeah.
so it's new production from China, I'd imagine. The 8mm Mauser is ancient. I think it's like
Rimlock weight and a
they
half.
said it was 1939 stuff. They're doing
Ooh.
pull down with it. They're changing the
Yes.
primers on them for a non-corrosive primer, which is cool.
Yep.
And then you get this 8mm Mauser round for pretty inexpensive. I think they're like $1.10 each. That's super inexpensive for 8mm Mauser.
It is. So you get a case at $240 for $270.
That's super reasonable.
Uh-huh.
And you can reload the brass afterwards, I think. Are they
Yeah.
reloadable?
I'm looking. I don't know if this is an actual picture. This is newly manufactured stuff.
No, it's pull down.
Really? Because it looks so clean and new.
Yeah, looks great. Russian captured ammo produced in Germany in 1937, 1938.
Oh, there it is.
Primers,
Yep.
primers have been replaced with a non-corrosive primer. Apparently, these were produced for the Romanian Air Force.
Oh,
No
yeah,
head
these-
stamp.
These have been around for a little while.
200 grain bullet. Yeah. Big
So if
old
you got a
chunky guy.
K98, you're all about this then.
Oh yeah, this would be the cheapest way to shoot a like an older Mauser. Yep.
Interesting. But I would not want anything to do with this Brit stuff though.
Cabela's every once in a while they get the UMC 303 ammo for right around $20 per 20 as well, and that's brass case. So I would get that stuff on sale rather than the steel case stuff.
I reached out to a bloke on the range to see if he would come on our show to do a Lee Enfield episode.
Mm-hmm.
He's been on with Ian and another guy who they shoot Lee Enfields. Actually, believe it or not, in the manual division in IPSC rifle matches.
I didn't know this was a thing. There's a manual division in IPSC?
In IPSC rifle, yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah, unless you really got into the minutia of ROing and stuff, or when you become an IPSC RO, you're supposed to be an RO for all disciplines, not just pistol. But since primarily we focus on pistol, that's primarily what the instructors focus on. But in the level 1 RO class, there's an exam on shotgun. There's an exam on rifle. When you get into the nitty gritty of the rifle discipline, you will see that there is in fact a manual division. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, very cool. And even cooler that some guys are actually shooting the sport of IPSC with number 4 Mark 1s. What? Yeah. So anyway, we'll see what he says. But one of the things they were talking about was some of the S&B 303 British is not bad. And then there's some Australian 303 British. I can't remember what code it is, but anyway. They did a whole video on Lee Enfield myths, and rimlock is a North American phenomenon. Apparently, it's not a thing over there because apparently they know how to load a charger correctly, and they use ammo that's in spec. So rimlocks aren't a big problem over there. So
cool.
What's next?
Canada ammo. They also have some non-corrosive 7.62 by 39 for $349 per 1,000. That's also pull down stuff.
It's not the. Oh, it is Dominion.
Yeah, it's pull down. So they're
pull down.
Pull down components on it. Which for any listeners who don't know what pull down is, they start with a round that's a steel case. It's got a bullet and powder and a corrosive primer. They take it all apart. They take that corrosive primer out. They put a non-corrosive primer in, and then they put it all back together.
Good to go. Yes, I've done this with 1942. 150 grain 30-06, so that when I shoot my M1 Garand, it looks like I'm shooting 1942 ammo out of it. But unfortunately, the primer I used didn't burn the powder. I should have used a Magnum primer because the powder that was in there. Anyway, I'm going to pull it again and dump out the powder and use modern powder because the ones that I tried, none of them would cycle the Garand. So I may have also left my Garand gear plug in there, which increases the cylinder capacity by 20%. So I may not have had enough pressure to cycle it. But Adriel, anything else?
Not really. One of the other things that I saw just on the range, have you guys seen those GSG MP40 22 clones yet?
Yeah.
I like them. They're,
really?
Yeah. For the price.
Looks like they'd be fun to shoot.
But are they all just cheap plasticky? Like, I just look at them like, toy.
Mm-mm.
No?
Did you handle one?
No. I've only seen the internet.
Oh, no, they're steel. They're like, they got some chunk to them. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They feel legit?
Mm. Well, really? I wouldn't know because I haven't fired an MP40, but
but I've held them.
One, but
I did in Call of Duty. That counts, right?
You've probably, Matthew, held one at the Machine Gun Museum.
Probably.
If that was something that you wanted to do when you were there, because it was certainly a thing.
Yeah. No, apparently they're really cool. Anyways, yeah.
Well, that's good. I figured they just would have been cheap and plasticky like the SG-44.
Or they had that ISSC
that was
thing as well, which was like lightweight and plasticky. But no, apparently these are like steel and like heavy.
Heavy.
Which is good.
Yeah. Of course. Good. Just like your shirt. All right. Next. I can't, man. I can't do it. It's so distracting.
Is our Patreon guest coming in half an hour?
Oh, I better ask him. Which reminds me.
I'm totally not staying on for the Patreon show, guys.
All right.
I'm having a hard time staying awake as it is.
Do you have your belt set up with you, Matthew?
Yeah, no, it's my belt. It's great.
No, because our main topic is belts.
I know. I don't have it with me. It's in the other room. I'm not going to go get it.
What's holding your pants up right now?
My drawstring. I got pajama bottoms on.
Oh, you can't put you could put a holster on one of those.
Yeah, one of them clip-on ones.
Yeah.
No, my Epsic rig belt is real simple. It's just a holster and 4 pouches. The end. And I run production, so I can't even run them ahead of my hip bone. They start at my hip bone, they go back from there. Easy
Well, you're
peasy.
skipping way ahead, way too quickly here.
Sorry, man. Well,
This is our main topic. Belts.
And thank you for listening to our main topic.
Yeah, behind the hip bone. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure the gun doesn't fall out of the holster and covers the trigger guard. Basics, really.
So, here in Canada, why would you even get a gun belt? I'm going ahead with the main topic, by the way, Trevor.
Yeah, go ahead.
We're doing
trying
the
to buy
main topic
something,
now?
and I'm
We're getting into
distracted.
it.
I
Yeah.
got like 3
Why?
belts here that I'll talk about, but not yet.
Well,
So
I mean,
why get a gun belt in Canada?
because games.
I was going to say that's what holds your holster.
It's
Yeah.
games. It's for
security.
It's for competitive shooting. We don't get to carry guns around on our hips, unfortunately. I wish we could, but we can't. Hey, I spoke to an Australian today about my trip to Georgia, and I was telling him about the guy who was open carrying, and the end of the discussion ended with him going, "Yeah, it does kind of sound like it would be a little bit safer with somebody like that around." From an Australian.
Yeah.
As you know, I described the gentleman who he was a Glock 17. He was open carrying on his hip in McDonald's. I said he was dressed well. It was not like he had camo on and a wife beater. Like he was a respectable looking citizen, and he just had a holstered firearm on his hip. And I said to him, so like I said to the Australian guy, I said, yeah, it actually kind of made me feel a little bit safer because I knew that if somebody came in to rob the joint, I mean, there was a guy right there who could stop it. Didn't have to wait for the cops to get there in 20 minutes. He goes, yeah, it's a good point. As long as it's the good guys carrying the guns, I don't have a problem with that. I'm like, woo, we got through to an Australian. Sweet.
Weird.
Yeah, no, very weird. Anyway, speaking of gun belts, this guy just had a leather belt on. It's no big deal.
So, what kind of belts are out there right now? Like, in terms of gun belts that you can get, can you just run them on a regular leather belt, like a good stiff?
You can
pants belt.
God,
yeah,
no.
You could.
You could, but why would you?
No. That's not the question. Could you?
You could.
Could you? Sure, you could.
And Trevor would have a meltdown.
Well, Trevor doesn't have to. Trevor can do whatever he wants to do there. If you want to go
Trevor
try
wants to
IPSC
help
or
people
you
do
want to
things
try
right.
IDPA or ODPL, and all you have is a thick leather belt and an old Uncle Mike's holster, go try it anyway with what you got. You don't have to go buy brand new stuff to go try a sport. Trevor, stop being an elitist. We want people to be involved in this sort of thing. You don't need special super duper race fancy gear to go out and have fun. If you want to win, that's later on. But to go out and have fun, you just need to be safe. A good, thick, sturdy belt, a holster that covers the trigger guard, and then some pouches to hold some mags.
I'm kind of with Trevor. I kind of think that you should have a better than just a leather work belt.
To try it out, like without putting any extra money in it, just to see if you like it.
Well, if you're going to try it out,
sport?
Sell your handgun, because what are you going to do with your handgun?
Well, maybe you like punching paper with it.
No one likes punching paper with like combat handguns. The whole point of them is running around and shooting stuff with them.
Sure, I agree with you.
Punching
but
paper with a combat handgun sucks.
I don't presume to assume what everybody else likes to do with their guns.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can. That's probably not the best idea, but you can.
See, Matthew just said that's not the best idea, but you can. Now,
Thank you for repeating that. I wasn't sure if they'd all heard me.
Okay, Trevor.
Sorry.
What's a better idea then? So let's say leather belt is not the best. What's the next step?
You want an inner outer. You want one of them Velcro stick together belts. And Adriel's gonna there you go.
Well,
so what it is it's
this one's a big belt.
it's an inner belt that goes through your belt loops, and the outside of this belt that goes through your belt loops is all the hoops on a hook and hoop system. I don't know if we're allowed to say Velcro without saying trademark every time.
We can say Velcro. We're not selling
good.
it. Hook and loop.
It's the furry part that's out that you stick through your belt loops, and then the big belt that holds all of your holster and your mag pouches is a nice, thick, stiff belt that has all the hooks, the scratchy part of the Velcro, and it sticks onto the fuzzy part of the Velcro that's already through your belt hoops. That way you can take your gun belt on and off, your holster never moves, and your mag pouches never move, and you can just put it on and off without having to take your belt loops off or your pants off or you know what I mean. It's easy peasy.
Right.
That's
and you
what
can
you
switch
could
out
get.
belts as well.
A what?
You can switch out the belts as well.
And you can switch out your belts fast too. If you're running 3-gun, you want multiple belt setups.
Maybe. Yep. Yeah. I mean, like some of the so we talked about the Velcro belts, and I think the ones that we all have are. Do you have a Safariland ELS, Trevor?
I do not.
Do not. Like that would be the only one that would be like drastic. Well, other than a battle belt. So some of the battle belts out there also use a Velcro inner, but then the outside is instead of being this 1.5 inch, it's got some like a lot of padding on there, and those are comfortable to wear longer during the day. But they're quite bulky, and they'll sweat like nasty on them, and on a real hot day. And then the Safariland ELS has, instead of just like just a stiff surface, it's got a whole bunch of holes in it, so you can screw a quick attach. Rather than just being a belt, it's actually like all these quick attach points. So you put a plastic piece on there. And during a stage, you need shotgun caddies. You clip your shotgun caddies in there. You need your holster. You put your holster on. You don't need it. You can clip it off and take it off. And it's very easy to put on and take off stuff.
Yeah, Blade Tech's doing that now too, though, Adriel.
Yeah, they've got their TMMS, but they went nowhere. Like you don't find those. You don't. I don't know.
You can't find them?
Huh?
You mean you can't buy them? They didn't catch on, or what?
They didn't catch on. No.
Oh, really? Because I was going to buy a bunch of them, but they're freaking expensive.
Yeah. So and so is the Safariland ones.
Well, I think it's less than the Safariland. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Here, look, it's right here. So you want to put the camera on here for a second?
1 second. Yeah.
All right. So this is your tech lock. So a lot of the listeners are familiar with what a tech lock is. So the tech lock goes in your belt like it always did. But instead of the tech lock having a magazine pouch or holster attached directly to it, or a dropped and offset hanger attached to the tech lock, you have this adapter piece with a plate, and the plate snaps in and out just like that. So once I pull this plate out, this plate is what I hook my mag pouch to, or this plate is what I hook my holster to. So I can put shotgun caddies on this, or double pistol mag pouches on this, or holster on this. Probably what I would use these for would be shotgun caddies versus rifle mags. But I think one of the reasons why I didn't bother with this system, Adriel, was I went to a detachable magazine shotgun. So
that adds a little bit of distance away from your body.
Yep.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, quarter of an inch.
And it costs a lot because you're spending a ton of money to
$45. Oh, $45 before I put a pouch on it. So seriously, I'm going to do $90. It's going to be the world's most expensive 3-gun belt.
Yeah, but for the ultimate flexibility, that's what some guys run, is those Safariland ELS belts. Yeah. That gets you like a ton of flexibility. And the nice thing is, between your stages, if you're heading into a stage where you don't need those shotgun caddies come off, rifle comes on. Now you've got them like really accessible. Otherwise, just with 3-gun, you're stuck with room, right? It becomes a space problem. With IPSC, you've just got your holster and your pistol mag pouches, but with 3-gun, you've got pistol mags, rifle mags, shotgun caddies take up a ton of space, and then you got your stupid holster on there. So one of the things that I do for 3-gun is I actually choose to have the spot for my belt where it overlaps, kind of at the rear right, just behind the holster, because I need the front for shotgun caddies, shot shell caddies up there, and I can't have that overlap where my other stuff would be in the way, right? So I mean, but whereas on IPSC, you just want to put your belt connection up front where you can easily get to it, right? Because this is a pain in the butt lacing this guy up, because you have to do it kind of behind your back where it's not accessible. This is like this. I weighed this the other night because I was actually taking pictures and just kind of sharing with the other guys on the Chaz 3 Gun page. Fully loaded with all the mags in here. This is 13 pounds. 13 pounds on this belt. Yeah, that's with all the shot shells. That's with the Shadow 2, which is kind of heavy. All the mags loaded up and all the mags on there. It's a lot of weight. That's why you need a stiff belt as well, because
but you're rocking the double alpha, man. You got the best belt in the industry. So you want to compare and contrast mine now, Adriel?
Can I show you like a real crappy one? This is like an eBay one. I was getting it with some other parts, and you can see
those are empty.
Yeah, there's not even anything in there, and it's just there's just nothing holding it. Actually, on a stage with a lot of shotgun, I'll throw this guy on instead, because this has all the shotgun I need. And if I needed to add it on, you could actually just take something like this and strap it around your chest, and it'll be held on right there on top of your nice shirt.
No, stop.
Adriel, you were ordered that last year. How much was it?
Ordered what last year?
The belt.
Oh, yeah, it was.
I think it was like
20 bucks. Yeah, it's not good. So, I would not recommend this belt. I have it set up for this, but this is crap. Yeah. The shot shell caddies were pretty good though.
Yeah. Trevor, what do you got?
I have on my 3-gun belt. So I've got a Blade Tech. I think this is the signature line. It's the Kydex one, not the folded plastic one. It's a Blade Tech holster, but it's on the Sierra Speed dropped and offset holster, or hanger rather, referred to as the Sierra Speed C-backs. So it's the same hanger they use on their Sierra Speed Racer, but with this plate on here so you can put a Kydex holster on. So I use Kydex for 3-gun. Then, of course, there's my STI Trojan 1911. I'm running G-Code. I got these from Owen and Matthew through Press Check Ventures. This is a G-Code double AR-15 mag pouch, and it's cool. I like it. And then I don't have them on here right now because I took them off for... I was going to run a Classic Major match, so all of my... Where is it? I'm missing... Oh, yeah, so I've got these Sierra Speed mag pouches on my Classic belt. I normally run a couple of Sierra Speed single stack adapted mag pouches on this belt, so they're currently off because they're on my other belts. But anyway, so I would have a couple of pistol mags in the front, shotgun mag in the back, and then this is thanks to listener and friend of the show, Chad Gross. What's Chad's last name?
Chad, yeah,
Gross. Okay. He's come up with this Kydex clip system that sticks on the side of your shotgun magazine, and that goes over your belt like that. So I'm not sure I got the height correct, because I just literally stuck it on tonight, a minute before the show, so I could talk about it on the show. But so I'll do the beer can method. I'll pull the mag off of the belt, flip it up, and insert it into the gun. So rather than all those shot shell caddies where Adriel does quad loads, I put a pump action magazine fed shotgun mag on my belt with a clip. You can get
good to go.
You
can
get
20 rounds, right?
Pardon?
2 of those is 20 rounds.
Exactly. So, 2 of those is 20 rounds plus 1 in the gun.
Mm-hmm.
So 30 rounds of shotgun. I know depending on the rule set, it's going to vary, but I mean, a long course of fire in IPSC for a shotgun, I think, is only 20 rounds. So 10 in the gun and 20 more on the belt. You were laughing. Just not sure. I got to check that with Chad to see if I've got those at the right height. It seems too low, but I didn't want to put the clamp any higher up because I didn't know if it was going to interfere in the mag well or not. So,
well, and I think having it higher up like that with more weight low down should keep it from popping off the belt.
True.
Maybe,
and also not pushing in my gut because I'm obese and gross. So that's gonna help. So that's my 3-gun setup, which is quite a bit different than yours. Do you want to see how my other belts are set up, or what are we doing?
Yeah, sure. Let's see one
All
more.
right. So my classic belt, you'll notice that also a Kydex holster This is all an all Ghost product. I like the blade tech, but it's hard to dispute this Ghost holster because look at how much nicer it is. Like just the aesthetics. It's a lot more streamlined. It's a lot cooler looking, but I don't believe it's as sturdy as the Kydex of the Blade Tech. And
I mean, they both look like black plastic holsters.
Right, but I don't think this one's as sturdy, but it's a lot nicer looking. It's a lot more streamlined. I struggled with this when I first got it. It has a lower cut, so apparently you can clear the holster sooner. But my magazine catch was hitting on the side on the way out, and I was dropping mags. You see up here, the magazine catch is right.
Yeah,
I had to dremel that out.
Yeah.
So it's super adjustable. You can adjust the cant away from your body or towards your body. You can adjust the angle. So the angle of the grip, so that's parallel to the belt or the muzzle tipped forward, whatnot. All in, it's inexpensive. It's well under $100 with tax and shipping and everything for all of that. Where the CR Speed C-Backs hanger alone is over $100, just the hanger, and then an $80 Kydex holster to go onto it, right? So this is a double alpha belt like yours. These are CR Speed pouches. Now you look how I've got them set up here. The classic division is like production. In IPSC, the first mag pouch has to be behind your hip bone. So everything, unlike my open guns or my 3-gun setups or my PCC, everything is in front of my body. Everything on my classic and my standard gun is behind the hip bone. So the first mag pouch, you'll notice, is canted back. And that's so when I reach down to get it, I don't have to break my wrist or bend my wrist. It's more ergonomic. The second one is straight. And then the next two are tipping forward. Again, it's all about minimizing movement, no wasted movement in the retrieving the mags.
Awesome.
So, and then my standard division, which standard division's just like go as fast as you can, shoot major, just pound the targets. And in this case, this is my raciest gun, right? It's basically an open gun without an optic or a comp. And so it's in a full-on race holster. So if the listeners were viewers right now, they would see that this quote-unquote holster is a chunk of plastic with a ball bearing and a lock that only covers the trigger guard. The entire dust cover is exposed. The entire grip's exposed. Just the trigger guard is covered. And it has all the same adjustments as the other Ghost holster that has a Kydex.
What's that holster?
This is a Ghost Ultimate. And they've got another one similar to it that has like a piece for the muzzle, like a CR Speed called the One. Yeah. This is the Ghost Ultimate. And these are not beginner holsters. They actually say right on them for expert use only. So I don't know about that. Like you don't have to be a grandmaster to use this, but you definitely have to be an experienced shooter to use one of these, or definitely be very careful in the beginning. Matthew is my RO one time. When I put the gun in the holster, I took my hand off the gun, and when I went to lock it, I knocked it out. And that little fraction of a second there was the difference between a DQ and not. So if the gun hadn't stayed in and would have come right out, I would have been DQ'd. But it stayed in, and then I knocked it out when I went to lock it. So got to be careful. And then those mag pouches are Ghost mag pouches, and you can see they're in the same orientation as my classic gun. But in this case, I'm running bullets out rather than bullet tips forward. So
yeah, that's so. Why the variance between bullets out and bullets forward?
Experiment. Some guys go bullets out. Ben Stager is the one that kind of started that, and I don't know if he was doing it to troll people, which would be a very Ben Stager thing to do, or if he thought it was actually going to be better, but he has stuck with it. And the idea of bullets out, Adriel, is there's, again, no wasted movements. If my bullets are forward like this, watch what I do with my hand. I pull the mag out, and then I turn so I can line up with the gun, and I insert it. But if the bullets are out, I don't have to do that extra turn. I just draw the mag and insert it directly into the pistol. I eliminate that turn. Does it make a huge difference? Not for an old fat guy like me, but IPSC is a game of milliseconds and seconds. So whatever movement you can eliminate, you're saving time. So that's the theory behind bullets out. And I'm not sure it makes a difference for me. So
Yeah, I mean, I've got that going. These ones that's a
Bullet
bullets forward, and then my other one. Yeah. And this I've done this on purpose because in 3-gun you don't have the space, and with bullets out you get a little bit more space in between
Exactly.
the mags.
Especially
So
if you're shooting single stack major and only 8 rounds in the mag, you're doing a lot of extra mag changes. So there's guys running like 6+ mags, and so yeah, they're going bullets out a lot of times.
Yeah, and with 3-gun, it just allows for more space to grab the mag or tighter on the belt. Both of which are nice for a 3-gun. Cool. Where do you buy this? Where do you buy a holster or not a holster, a belt?
I like to go to the stores that specialize in action shooting, like Freedom Ventures or Double Tap. Those are where I seem to get most of my stuff. They're holsters. You can get all kinds of holsters from the Calgary Shooting Center. Denis, of course, our sponsor, he can get anything that Freedom Ventures carries or Double Tap carries. But go to the stores that are run by IPSC people, like the owner of Freedom Ventures. What does he do? Oh, that's right, he's the president of IPSC Canada. So obviously that business is geared towards the IPSC product lines. So
yeah.
Double Alpha, however,
MD Gardner's
the
same thing.
That's
right?
another one.
Yeah.
Regional director, section coordinator for BC, first regional director of IPSC Canada. Double Alpha, I get from Double Alpha.
Cool.
Yep.
Anything else about belts, or you want to keep moving?
Just is a different belt for every game, depending on what you're going to do. Your IDPA belt is not your IPSC belt. Your IPSC belt is not your 3-gun belt.
Well, and we didn't even talk about cowboy action.
Nope.
We don't need to either. Let's just keep right on going.
Yeah.
And my PCC belt is so weird because there's no holster on it. It's weird walking around a match without a holster.
You should try holstering that sucker. That'd be awesome.
It's
you get one. Get some leather.
And all the mag pouches are run up front like an open. So pretty awesome.
So what happens when you have to go prone?
Same as when you go prone when you're an open shooter. You lay on your mags.
Suck it up.
Just make sure you load going in prone.
Yep.
So you don't have to load down there.
Exactly.
Cool. Yeah. You're the host, Trevor.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was busy. I was spending money.
Yeah.
All right. Kelly, have you been watching the listener feedback on the YouTube?
Oh, yeah. Why don't you come back for just a second? I'll bring it up because I shut it down here just a second ago.
Great. Good one.
Well, Matthew, why don't you take the first email then while we're waiting for Kelly to get that
You
done?
think I have this show notes up? That's cute.
Okay, so
I was just doing to you what you were doing to her. That's all.
Thank you, Trevor.
You're welcome.
What is this? Reversal tonight or something?
Yes. Let's be nice to Kelly night and pick on Adriel's horrible shirt.
And ring.
And ring.
That ring really is distracting.
One ring to rule them all.
That's the one there.
Okay.
One ring to drown Adriel in the pool is what it is.
Luca Dan says that the CCFR will be attending the New Brunswick Sportsman Show in Moncton on March 29th, 30th, and 31st. It's also his birthday on the 30th, so go and bring him some cake. And then it's my birthday the next day. And IBI barrels, yes, they're doing the barrels for the Axis. Corey Johan, he said apparently you don't have to be in New Zealand to sign up for them to get your guns. So we were talking about in New Zealand the police coming to get your guns or what have you. Says apparently you don't even have to be in New Zealand to ask the police to come and get your guns.
So you could fill out a form saying, I need
if you're on vacation or something, you can just be like, yo, the key's under the mat. Go get my semis.
Yeah, apparently people are.
No, you could say, yeah, go grab my guns and like put some legislator's address in the form. Yeah. Comfortably from Canada.
Yeah, and we actually answered most of this stuff already. Apparently, Trevor, you rage quit about something again. No, it's the math. You can't do math.
Oh, yeah, I can't add 5 and 4 equals 8, not 9.
Yes.
Yeah, son of a diddly.
Whatever.
And
Luke was asking about the recovery tactical rail,
Yep.
which looks like a plastic thing that you bolt onto your 1911. Here, just a second. I'll share out what this thing looks like.
Oh,
Feast your eyes on that. That is weird.
Oh, that's horrible. What a piece of junk.
yeah, just let him. He didn't pay all that much for it.
Oh, you actually bought it?
They don't look
Listen to
expensive.
it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, it makes your 1911 look real weird.
Yep. If you're looking to take IPSC, I'm not sure that would be. We're allowed to have rails now, so it doesn't. Anyway, I don't.
Yeah, and that's everything. Stacy also wants us to know that besides Saskatchewan, the UK also calls hoodies bunny hugs too. I don't know why.
I don't know why.
But that's it.
All right.
Cool.
Adriel, you got the first one?
I got the first one now.
It's the
Listener
only
from
one.
Australia sent in some CZ 3D printed goodness. I know you gave it to me because you wanted me to say CZ.
Yeah.
CZ. So this is actually kind of cool. So this guy has 3D modeled out a couple of different designs for mags. He's from Australia, so he's got the same 10 rounder CZ mags that we've got. Those half steel mags for the CZ. And he's designed a bottom for him that includes an extension. So if you wanted an extended CZ75 mag, you could do it. Now this won't work with the Mekar ones, but it'll work great with these. The other thing that I noticed he's got a spacer for the Racemaster style mag pouches that is more optimal for the CZ75 mags in it. And I noticed that with mine, I'm basically either at min with one or at max with the other, and there's not really a good in-between, whereas this should work better for it. So I'm kind of interested. That's it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Next.
Your turn.
I actually have it up now if you want me to read it, Trevor.
Please, because I don't
right,
remember
from
the notes
Spencer.
there.
Yeah. Hey guys, it's been a while, so I have a few things I wanted to catch up with you on. First, the ESS shooting glasses have some of the slimmest earpieces I've found so far. They work with literally any kind of ear protection I've ever tried. I bought some to use at Mag 40 back in 2013. Sorry, Trevor, 20 and 13. And because you can snap in new lenses at any time, they're still in my range bag today. They are a little expensive, but they're probably the last shooting glasses you'll ever need to buy. Second, Adriel, are you tracking temperature on your Mega 22 ammo testing? Your groups could change if you're shooting in extreme cold, and the numbers probably won't translate well across different brands if you have significant temperature differences between each range session.
So be it.
Okay, cool. Third, that ad hoc conversation about 22 ammo you guys had last week while waiting for your guest was one of the best conversations I've heard on Slamfire for a long time. Just a reminder, you don't need guests all the time. Conversations among you guys can be really interesting. On that topic, though, you do need to remember that the speed of sound depends on multiple factors like temperature and altitude, since it's all about air density. Yes, of course, it changes a little bit, but most people don't know that, and we didn't need to bring it up.
Yeah, just like Derek didn't need to bring up my math skills.
Right. Fourth, on your news item about the Sandy Hook parents getting the go-ahead to sue Remington, that was state court, not federal court. Since the Protection of Lawful Commerce and Arms Act, which prevents such lawsuits, is a federal law, the state courts have no say, and that ruling has literally no effect. Oh, that's good to know. Last of all, if any of you guys do make it to Georgia again, looking at you, Matthew, let me know. I can set you up with some interesting rain trips if you're in the Atlanta area. Atlanta's down in the southern part of Georgia, right?
Yes, it
I think.
is.
Yeah, we barely crossed the border, and then we left again because I knew I was getting too close to you, Spencer. Yeah, if I end up farther down south, of course, I'd love to do this sort of stuff. See, because he goes on, he says, I think I mentioned a while back, a coworker also has an airboat and does guided bow fishing and alligator hunts in Georgia, Alabama, and Florida. See, Dave and I, all the way through, we're like, is this gator country? Do you think we could see a gator? I want to see gators. We were like watching the ditches and we didn't see any gators. It was terribly depressing.
Dang.
If you're ever down this way and want to do some gun/bow related stuff, let me know and I can probably find something interesting for you to try. And that comes to us from Spencer and Smyrna with a big PS. That was a really strange case your guest talked about last week. I'm not sure I think that she could have been found guilty of a crime at all. The whole idea of simply talking about committing a crime versus actually performing the action seems a pretty bright line difference to me.
However, sorry, let me jump in, Matthew.
Yeah.
Talking about committing a crime is a crime. In Canadian, the Criminal Code of Canada, it's called conspiracy to commit. And that's exactly what they did by talking about planning or
if
planning.
you plan a crime, that is a crime.
Right.
She planned a crime. They planned a crime and then took action to commit said crime.
Is it all crime, or is it just some like the real bad ones that they like?
Conspiracy to commit murder, conspiracy to commit. There's a range.
It can't be like conspiracy to like steal candy from a candy store. You can't get charged. You can?
No.
Okay. Conspiracy to commit murder is a crime.
Yes. Yeah, that one I get.
Conspiracy to steal candy, maybe it is a crime, maybe it isn't, but I don't think they're going to charge you with it. Like I think they're they have the law in the book so they can for this exact situation.
But I know we're sorry, I thought you were done, Matthew. Go ahead.
I was carry on.
So I know where he's coming from, where it just like I had this conversation with an RCMP friend of mine the other day, and I said it blows my mind that she is serving life in prison for words texted on a computer through Facebook.
But she got on a plane.
Drunk.
Yeah, but it's not even about intent, according to him.
Right.
It's not even about it's about the words that she typed, And so whether you type them on Facebook or you and I have a conversation on a park bench, conspiracy is conspiracy.
It's just easier to prove if it's on Facebook.
Exactly.
Because everything lasts forever on Facebook.
Right.
I did want to talk about she is appealing her case. She's appealing not the actual conviction, she's appealing the sentence.
Yes, she thinks the sentence is too harsh. So
she might have a case with respect to that, because I was looking at some other cases and she got quite a harsh sentence.
Did. Yeah.
So when I say other cases, I was looking at the Toronto 18. And it's not exactly the same, but it's
the same charge, conspiracy to commit murder.
Terrorism Act as well.
Oh.
So the longest sentence for them, the longest sentence was 18 years. And that's it. Nobody got a life sentence.
Crazy.
And they actually trained to do what they said they were going to do.
Yeah, even worse. These guys, I mean, she never even made it to his apartment. I fully expect that they either would have been found out before getting to the mall, or they would have started to try and get ready to do it, realize the logistics of what they were wanting to do was nearly impossible, and were going to give up.
So when I was listening to the episodes, her target, the people that she really wanted to harm or hurt or kill, was me. She wanted to kill. Are
you a basic bitch? Really?
I know, a basic bitch. I know, a middle-aged. She said middle-aged. Shut up, Trevor. Overweight.
You're what they refer to in the antique business as mid-century.
So it was me that she really, really wanted to target, and also children, because of the fact that they are basically products of nothing. And I'm thinking to myself, if I was there in that, if it happened and I was there in that food court, that is one time, like, I really think that we should be able to carry, but that's one time that I would have wanted to carry, because of the fact that I want to be able to protect myself. Like, basic
bitches need protection, Kelly.
Yeah. So if it's really interesting, listen to all four of them. I believe all 4 episodes. The 5th one with Trevor, I haven't had an opportunity to listen to yet, but based on, I am going to listen to it. Based on, that's the other thing too. Based on what I heard and her conversations, I know that it was 5 hours of interview that he did, and only about an hour. an hour and a half once he put in his own content, was what was used. But this woman, I believe she's psychotic, basically.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
True psychotic. But and I also became a Patreon of his show and bought
Yes.
a hoodie.
He shouted you out, and he said, and Kelly Lynn from Slamfire.
Woo!
Yep, you got the big
meaning to
shout
do
out
it.
this week.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to his email there, Matthew, if you want to keep going.
He continues on. Since the cops picked her up at the airport, there's no reason they couldn't have simply followed her to the dude's house and then grabbed them both if they left with anything that looked like a gun. At that point, they have taken action. To me, the definition of a crime. Just talking about it on Facebook is weird and disconcerting, but I don't think that should actually be considered a crime per se. Well, we just discussed that.
Yep.
It is. I know you guys don't have the First Amendment in Canada, but to me, that still falls within the bounds of free speech, ugly as it is. At least until police can show that they were actively taking action to follow up their words with deeds, it doesn't seem reasonable to me that they should be have been convicted of anything. Just my opinion, and no tears shed for either of them, but you do have to ask whether a criminal act discussed but not committed is really a crime. And it is here in Canada. So, yeah, there you go. So that's from Spencer. Thanks, dude.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
All right.
Then we got some links to Schlieren photography and the speed of sound through Wikipedia. So
Yes.
thank you for
There
for
he
them.
was educating you again.
Yeah,
Adriel.
salute.
Me? I'm not going to look at those links.
No, of course not.
You can't force me to learn stuff.
I'm not clicking
No,
them.
we obviously can't force you to do anything, and that's evident by your shirt. So,
Yeah.
shout outs. I have three. One to Larry and Joe for putting on last week's Steel Challenge match. Had a lot of fun. Thank you again. And to Jerry from the NRT. Hope to see you at one of these events sometime, Jerry. And thanks for listening. Adriel, do you have any shout outs?
Yeah, for Trevor for loaning me this shirt.
My grandfather said he wants it back though when you're done. Okay.
All right.
All right. Kelly.
Does he need it? You're burying him or something?
I wouldn't bury my old man in that. Nuts.
Okay. I wanted to give a shout out to the listener, Doug. He came by the booth and said hello. And also Terry Muxlaw. He is one of my favorite CCFR field officers. He spent the day with me at the Toronto Sportsman Show on Saturday, and he made me giggle.
By tickling you?
No, we shared a joke about how old you are.
Funnier my way. So again, Kelly, who is in her 50s, likes to point out that the guy in his 40s is old. I'm not
Just
sure.
looks older.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I look older than all of us, but I am not.
All of us put together.
There's age of maturation and chronological age.
Yeah.
If we go by chronological age, Kelly has me beat. If we go by age of maturation, Matthew has me beat. If we go by physical appearance,
as long as you're not counting shirts, Trevor's got us all.
Awesome. All right, Patreonies.
Hey, I had shout outs.
Oh, no,
you
you
never
didn't.
asked.
If there's no name, I don't ask. That's why we
Well,
have
it's because
the show
I'm
notes.
lazy.
Oh,
Should I be penalized for being lazy?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
No. All right, then. Carry on.
Patreonies. There are 83 right now, and our newest one is Derek M. Derek, who you'll remember, handed me my ass in the last IPSC match shooting PCC. I will be out for revenge Saturday night. I believe I'm squatted with him to boot, so let the mental games begin. I look forward to seeing you on the field of play. If you would like to become a Patreon and get some patches in the mail and stuff like that. Oh, patches story. Adriel, you mailed me out some patches, right? And some stickers.
Sure.
So I took out my share that I wanted for my own personal use. Oh, by the way, they look awesome on an AR-15 stock on a rifle. When you shoulder, it's like that sponsorship logo right on the butt of the rifle. It's awesome. Yeah. So anyway, I bring the rest with me to give out some of the guys at the Steel Challenge, and I pass it around the breakfast table, and it doesn't make it all the way around. It like makes it halfway and stops in front of somebody, and that's where it stayed. But they picked them up, they didn't throw them away. Paul Lombard went back after the match, and because Larry got us out of there as fast as possible at that match, like, oh, you guys got to drive all the way back home, and he just shot us through everything. We were like out of there in an hour. It was awesome. Kinda. I mean, we weren't in that big of a hurry, but it was nice that he was super accommodating. So Paul went into the restaurant and picked him up. So Paul has all of our patches, or all of my patches. So yeah.
So you need more?
Yes. I got a request to put one in the mail for Jerry, but Paul has my patches, Jerry. Sorry. Yeah. So anyway, head on over to www.patreon.com/Slamfire Radio to become a Patreoni and support the show. Helps us grow, helps us pay the bills. That reminds me our hosting fees are up or something. I think there's an email there, Matthew, with your name on it.
Forward it to me.
It's in our Gmail account.
Okay.
What else? It says sign off, so I'm going to sign off and encourage the listeners now more so than ever. I know we keep saying this now more so than ever, but like now the Liberals are calling for a handgun ban, like right now. Do it right now. The pressure is on after the New Zealand shooting. Tracy and Rod and the rest of the CCFR team are fighting very hard to push back in the mainstream media like never before. Never before has a pro-gun org had this much traction in the mainstream media. We're the ones they call for quotes. We're the ones that they, retweet and in some cases demonize, right? For good or bad.
That's when you know it's effective.
That's right. For good or bad, the NRA is a household name, and it's a household name because of all the traction they get in the media. And the CCFR is becoming that household name. Not that we are Canada's NRA because we have a different philosophy and belief system and mandate, but we are recognized nationally as Canada's pro-gun org. And so it's important to become a member of that pro-gun org because we need the numbers. It's nice to have a voice, but the more numbers we have behind that voice, the more powerful it is and the more it's listened to. So politicians know that we vote with our dollars. And so when the CCFR speaks on your behalf, it would be nice if you were actually a paid member. Check us out on GOC. It is a friendly, nice gun forum with all kinds of cool information shared. And we have a little forum over there. So Kelly does a super awesome job of posting our show over there week after week after week. So if you'd like to go over and drop a comment on there, we will see it and respond. And like us on Facebook, we're up to 2,102 likes on Facebook. That's a lot of likes, guys. A lot of likes. So until next week, everybody, we like you.
Well, okay, sure.
So if you have any comments or questions for the show, please send an email to slamfireradio@gmail.com. Now go grab a gun and shoot something.
When the talking is over, it's time to get a gun.